It's all good, though. You now tune into the biggest ever. YMCMB, Tunchi Lee, Young Angel, Young Lion, man. Y'all boys get on the track with Onika Mirage and y'all still dying, man. What's up? We in this bitch. This ain't gonna be the first time that I do numbers on 2 crutches. Seen more plaques than 2 brushes. Until I'm at the pearly white gates, I gotta move something, do something. All meetings happen in person, so they can't prove nothing. No, they ain't.
Let's get ready to rumble!
What's good? What's good? What's going on, world? It's your boy Ryan Frazer, Boxing Talk Up North, and I'm back, man. Had a little sickness, had to dust it off. But it's all good. We back, man. We got a big one. We got a great one here today. We got 2 boxers in the building from Canada. We got Joshua Frazer and Ricardo Brown. Just going to bring Josh up to the stage here right quick. And they got a fight going down on October 19th, man. They coming back to Canada, to Toronto. I think it's the Great Canadian Casino there, down in Woodbine there. Yo, y'all got to check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. It's a great spot, man. United Promotions putting on another great event, and hopefully, everything goes well over there, man. What's going on, bro?
Yes,
Joshua
sir.
Frazer in the building.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, brother. Thanks for having the show. Hey, everybody out there in the Boxing Talk Up North, I just want to say thank you for supporting this Boxing Talk Up North, because we need this on the side of the ocean, and we're here, bro. I'm here too, so I'm fighting October 19th. I feel great, and I'm energized, man. I'm ready. I got some. I believe I'm fighting. I got my opponent. Yeah. So I got an Argentinian, and I don't know much about him yet, but I'm ready.
Yeah, that's the kind of the I guess the worst part about fighting, your way up, is you don't know too much about your opponents. So like, how do you prepare for that? You just always just always ready for anybody, anything?
Yeah. So the best way for me to prepare is to just be the best me. Any flaws that I've had from my last fights leading in, I try to fix those and just keep fine-tuning the craft of what I've been trying to become.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And this camp, how's it been going so far with the weight? Just fine-tuning. What's been the main focus?
The camp was great. We're working hard. Weight's falling off nicely. I was saying I packed on some extra pounds in the beginning of camp. Came in about 180 something. And I'm sitting about 163 clean right now, so I'm feeling great. And that was a couple weeks ago, so I'm still strong. And on the 19th, man, I'll be feeling like $1 million. So I got 2 more weeks as of a couple of days ago. So we're still winding down.
Yeah, man, no doubt. And obviously, this is a great event going on here down in Toronto, Canada, at the Great Canadian Casino. Shout out to United Promotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your 3rd or 4th 8-rounder, I think. So where's the direction gonna go after this, should you guys win?
I believe this is my last 8-rounder, to be honest with you. We're moving up to 10 rounders, and we're trying to go shoot for a title within the next 2 to 3 fights. I want to keep fighting ranked fighters. I want to keep fighting fighters that are going to get me to where I got to be at my level. Never mind to bring the best out of me. So, I heard Xander called out Ortiz, so that's a big deal in a way. I like that. Big shout out Xander, big shout out Ortiz. Joshua Frazer's here too. So I just want to say shout out to all you guys. And Boxing Talk Up North, man, we're bringing it to the world. So this is big too, man. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it, bro.
Nah, man. This is great. And like, those guys are obviously, they're more established in the division, but the fact that you believe you're along with those guys, like, you should be in that conversation.
Yeah.
So do you think like the WBA route is the route you guys are gonna go? I know you're ranked in the WBA right now as the Feder Latin division.
I love the route we went, because I think we should, I didn't know what to do when I got into the pros. At least in the amateurs, you could see the paper route and what it took to get to where you had to go. So now I'm just training with like full belief of the whole process, that what we're doing is actually moving me towards becoming a world champ. And recently the WBA did say I was number 6 in the WBA. I was lost before that. I didn't know where I was at. But I know Xander's ranked top in that. So
yeah, for the Feder Latin, he's number 1.
This is what it is. These are obstacles I must reach, and at the same time, I know he's a great fighter, and people speak highly of him. but at the same time, I love what I do too, and I'm here representing my country, myself, and the
Mm-hmm.
family. So we're all in it for the best. We're all in it to fight the best and be the best. So I'm happy Xander Ricardo Ortiz because those are fights that we need to make happen. And
Yeah, no
I'm
doubt,
happy I
man.
took the WBA route because fighting in the amateurs through Central America and Panama and everything, I got
Right.
to see some of those people along the way. So I've crossed paths with a lot of these people. So it'd be good to stay close to home and then move out to bigger and better things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and that's the goal, right? You want to bring the big fights to Toronto.
Yeah,
Just like, John Pascal did in Montreal, you had to if you wanted to get that title, you had to go up to Montreal and fight. Same
correct,
with Adonis and, Lucien Bute. Those guys all made everybody come to them, and yeah, that's what you wanna do is bring the fire here to the
correct,
city, and
correct.
that's what's up, man. So, yeah, so, like, I got a few questions here, from Oscar. Shout out to my guy Oscar. He said, "What flaws per se would you say you worked on, from the last fight for this camp, I guess?"
You know what? Cardio was something that was never can never have enough cardio. So it wasn't that the cardio was a flaw. It was more so the way I was approaching my fights mentally was a flaw. Um, Me staying on point in camp, and I had some time off in between fights, so I had long camps, 6 months at a time and up. Being able to stay focused on what I needed to do to make myself better day by day throughout the camp was highly important. And now I know, like after the rounds and rounds and rounds and fine tuning of the mind and everything, I know that
Mhm.
just got to keep staying on the grind because it never stops. If I take a day off, there's someone training to go get that world title, even if they're not in position now. Doesn't mean they won't be in position one day. So,
Right,
also
right.
just changing my mindset about how I did it was very key in allowing me to get better as a student at a game. So, changing my mindset after the last fight, I had trained 6, 7, 8 months. The fight went 2 rounds. I would damn near went crazy.
Yeah, well, that's
One,
that's the difficult part about it is when you, get in those long camps and then, yeah, like you said, you have a quick result. It's almost like, you didn't really do much.
no man, we was trying to fight again before we even left the building.
Yeah, man.
I loved
That's
it.
difficult.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so, like, bro, I like, what made you get really into boxing? Because I know, obviously, like,
yeah,
we've been around it our whole life, but,
yeah.
to really do the thing is definitely different, man.
So, well, I used to chase the ball dream heavy. I was
Mm.
telling kids the other day, if you read any school report after grade 9, 10, 11, 12, it would have said I would have became an NBA superstar and I was shooting for my NBAs. And the other day I was telling them I'm still shooting for my NBAs. It just happens to be the National Boxing Association. And the one thing that changed it was when I came home from Texas and I had those scholarships for University of Houston and small cities in Ohio and Division twos, Division one schools in basketball. And I came home and I went to school in Kingston. Me getting kicked off the team the first game was like, whoa! It was like I just didn't know what to do, so I quit. Like I was one thing I never was big on was quitting, but I did quit. I said, you know what? Forget basketball. I'm hanging it up. And I was thinking, there's 10 people on the court. There's 20 people on the bench. I was really thinking to myself, you know what? I love boxing. Like deep down inside, every single time that like I was playing in the States and I was
Yeah.
fighting. I was always fighting for what was right, to be better, to get better, to hit my goal, my own personal goals. When I finally made that choice, I went down to the Kingston gym, hit on the bags, and for a little bit I felt good. But when I finally came home and I stepped into it at like back into the family business, I just knew that like this was meant for me.
Yeah.
Just I could shine. Um, I could let my emotions go and be passionate, and people weren't gonna down me for being passionate. And then maybe when I hit a level, my passion turned into arrogance to some people, but I still kept shooting for it. Became a national champ, provincial champ, went international, did the whole thing. And then I realized that I want to see how good I could be at this. I want to see if I could fight the best and be the best. So at this point, I'm just trying to push myself past the level I've ever been at. And it's actually been a goal since I ever started. So Yeah,
Oh
man.
man.
Me getting kicked off that basketball team when I was in college. The first game against Queens University, man, I did it. I did it.
Yeah,
And I think I went home and grabbed some gloves and went straight to the
yeah.
gym.
Nah, man, that's good. That's good. Like
Yeah,
obviously like boxing is just a tough sport in general, and like, for you to make that switch from basketball to combat sport, it's difficult, man. It's not like your typical thing. I think a lot of people don't understand that.
yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, so like what's going on? What else is new in this camp that you would say like the sparring partners have you brought in?
So
You know,
we didn't do any new sparring partners. Most definitely we're still sticking to the program, sparring 3 times a week, if not moving around, just trying to
right.
stay in the ring. And we're keeping the camp kosher. We're keeping it how we used to keep it. Melinda just won that title
Yeah.
on the 20th. We just had a bunch of fighters go to provincials. So there's a lot happening in the gym, but at the same time, I'm just trying to keep myself personally accountable for what I need to do to be great in the future. Like, I know
Yeah.
everything champions do is not just about boxing and in the ring. So I've done a lot of work with schools recently. That's been new. I've been doing a lot of media stuff. That's new. Selling the tickets. I'm trying to sell tickets. Get your tickets October 19th. Call me. I've been trying to sell tickets heavily. So that's also new.
Yeah.
Adding in the ticket sales with me staying focused on getting the job done every single day, that is also new. But I know it's just a part of the game, and I love it all. So I want to get fully rounded. You gave me a call a couple of days ago. I wanted to say no, but my body deep down inside, I was saying this is what I need to do. This is what I love to do. And people
Yeah.
have to know the fights are happening. They have to know what we go through. Um, but yeah, man.
Yeah. Would you say that's like the one of the toughest parts in boxing right now, like the business aspect of it? Because like me diving deep into the sport now, it seems like a lot of guys are, I wouldn't say out of touch with the business side, but they're just not, savvy, like business savvy. So you find a lot of the conversations are about business and boxing really now.
Yeah. So making the big fights, like everyone asks me, why don't these big fights happen and this and that? And I'm saying I believe it's personally based off business. I think
Yeah.
it's because people can't bring in enough numbers at the time to get the fight to happen. It doesn't happen. So I was saying if everyone heard about the fight and wanted to support these people to fight, they once they find out that these fights are happening, we can get people in the building. But I guess not everyone wants to see a promoter come in the door. They want to see an actual fighter walk in the door and say, yo, I'm fighting. So it's been a big deal for me to walk into companies and say, you know what, I'm doing my thing and I've been doing my thing this long, and to give them the past history and to tell them that I'm shooting for this tomorrow and the next day. Um, we can bring new people into boxing, and
Yeah.
we can also fill these venues. So we
Yeah,
can one
that's
day get back to 100,000 seaters. That's a goal. That's a goal.
yeah, that's the goal for sure, is to fill up
That's
the arenas and
that's a goal.
obviously get into some of our bigger arenas in our city.
Yeah.
Scotia Bank down there, and maybe
But,
the Rogers
so
Center one day if we could do a stadium event.
we got that new stadium at the Downs View. I don't know what it's gonna look like. It seems like it's gonna be an ample type theater outside for music, but we never know if we can fill up places like that. 50,000, 100,000 in
Yeah.
Canada.
Well, you got Turkey Sheik out here. He's going to stadium, so you
Real
just got to have the
boxing,
right names.
real boxing lovers. So I know it can happen. I've been in fights in big arenas in Canada. Now, just to say that we have a fighter that's talented enough to bring people overseas to watch us, that's a different story. Um,
Hmm.
we're gonna bring the talent to the world. That's for sure. There's talent everywhere. We just have to let the world know we have it. So for me, I think promoting myself and letting people know that I'm gonna become one of these type of fighters, and this is what I'm onto. This is what I'm into. This is
Hmm.
what I want to do. Um, we need support. I think me just asking and saying that, and that will help boxing stay alive forever. It's never gonna die. Boxing
Yeah.
will never die.
Yeah. No.
But
Boxing's here to stay.
to say it's not gonna become a sideshow or just business, yeah, we got to keep real boxing lovers in the business, and we got to keep fans around too. Um, So I do appreciate, everyone putting on shows all around the world. But let's make these big fights happen too.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely. Like it's like you said, it's tough to make those big fights, but no, shout out to everybody that's putting on these events, man. Boxing is like on nonstop going, man. It's been a good year we've had the last
Everywhere.
2 years.
Global.
And yeah, exactly. It's global. It's like from Japan down to the UK, up to the USA, and everywhere around right now. It seems like you can find a good card anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a thing, man. Shout out to Oscar again. He's got another question here. Could you ask him for his style? Which type of fighting style are the most comfortable, but which fighting style is the most difficult to deal with in the ring?
Like in the pros, because you never want to fight to get stopped on them headbutts and stuff. I find like them guys that like to put their head in there and dig with the elbows and do dirty stuff are the tougher guys to fight, because not only is boxing a boxing sport and you can fight in it, but then you got guys that aren't even looking to box nor fight. They're just throwing dirty blows, and like that is what's detrimental to the game, because now you got a fight that's going to turn dirty in 3-4 rounds. Um, I find the guys that led with their elbows and heads were the harder guys for me to fight, because they most definitely brought out the dog in me and let me. If you throw an elbow at me twice, trust me, I'm throwing one back, and I'm gonna let you know. So that was just something that changes the energy of a pure fight, from something that was going to see who's the best man to him saying, all right, I'm gonna take your eye out, or I'm gonna injure you for life. And that's a part of the game, love and war. But when I came prepared for a fighter and I'm dealing with a sucker, now we got a punk. Now I got to deal with a punk. So now we can break people. But to say fighting styles, there's always a fighting style out there that'll bring the worst out of the best men. And
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like I'm saying, it might just be the scrappy guys for me. That might make it easy in the future, because I might learn how to fight them.
Yeah, exactly.
They might become easier to me. But I find those people that go outside of the score zone of boxing, they hit you in the back of the head, they elbow you, they do this, they that, just to get in. I find those are the guys that make me a little bit more aggravated, and I want to basically damage them a little bit more. So yeah, it changes the game.
Yeah, those scrappy guys, man, they could be annoying.
I want to break them. I don't want them fighting no more.
Yeah, that's what they really try to turn it into, not a boxing match, a fight.
Yeah.
Per
And I
se.
think boxing is one of the more classiest of fighting out there. We got UFC, which is, I'm not gonna say it's not classy. It's just full body.
No, it's more of a fight than
I didn't know you could hit a man in the back of the head. That's cool. So it's like, okay, but where we do this is a zone. Let it go, and may the best man win. I think that's just where I show up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got a couple questions from the community here.
Beautiful.
Pelly. Yeah, cousin Pelly. How's your training regimen changed over the last 10 fights? Or is it fighter specific for the most part?
To be honest with you, it can't be it's not fighter specific, because I'm technically training myself to be the best me every day, based off how I handle every single opponent. I've had a couple of opponents that did some really nifty things that I haven't seen in the ring in 100 fights, and to adjust on the fly, I think is amazing. For me to keep adjusting on the fly is amazing. But for training camp, my regiments, I added in early mornings this camp. I wasn't big on early mornings. I've been doing 5:30 a.m.s quite frequently. I've been doing 2 days, 3 days, and a little bit more.
12 made it.
Yeah, and like before, it bugged me about 9 p.m. I get a bit tired, but now I'm good. I can stay up until 1 in the morning, wake up 5:30, and be a beast all day. So when I finally do sleep before the fight, I know I'm gonna feel amazing. I'm gonna finally get some real sleep. I took a challenge on waking up early for this last 2-3 months, and it's actually been paying off.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna bring in 12, man.
Big.
What's going on, Big 12?
Oh, I'm here, man. Just here chilling.
Yes, Ricardo Brown in the building. My guy. I gotta play my little snippet for you, brother.
Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
Thanks in the building. The big tank, Big 12, man. How's everything going?
Everything is good. I'm just here, man. Just at home, chilling right now.
Yes, sir. October 19th, you're back in the ring. You got an opponent yet, or is Tyler still getting that all figured out?
Tomorrow I will know because I will ask coach tomorrow. So yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean that's all right for you guys at this point because I think you guys just handle your business the same way. Like whoever's in front of you, you just got to deal with them.
Yeah, we just put them aside. That's how we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So yeah, man. I guess I never asked you, so this is gonna be a learning experience for me too. Like, how did you get into boxing? Because as the people don't know, you are from Jamaica, Jamaica grown, and there's not a lot of boxing gyms out there, and it's a country that like track, soccer, cricket, like those are the big sports in that country. So, boxing. How did B12 get in boxing?
So I used to work on a sound system called Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
So one weekend they have a show in Halfway, a boxing tournament, the Red River Contender.
Mm-hmm.
So our son play at that event the night. So the night we go there and I'm watching all these guys fighting, just beating one
Yeah.
another. I'm like, I can do that. That's not hard.
Hmm.
Yeah, but what it did take me a little time before I really started because like I go back home and I put up like a bag in my backyard, hitting it, and
Mm-hmm.
it took me like 2 years before I really get into boxing like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then I start hitting that bag, and now I start to run from work to home, from home to work. And one evening I was running home from work, and this guy from England just
Mm-hmm.
driving past our community, and he see me run, and he see I was a boxer, so he just pull up in the community, come find me, and he's like, I need to find that boxer. But he's like, no boxer living here. He's like the
Yeah.
big tall guy who's running. I'm like, this man just come to a random community, not even know nobody in there.
Wow, that's
He just
crazy.
come in, man, and but he end up find me, and then he's like, you man, you a boxer? I said, no, I box before. And he's like, you're lying. I said, I never boxed before. And I don't know how to box. So he said, show me a stance. And I showed him the stance, and he's like, "Oh, frig, he can't box." He don't know nothing about boxing. Yeah, yeah, man. And even he told me that you want to learn. I said, "Yeah." So him say, "Yo, if you want to learn to box, find me the address. If you find me, just come, knock on the gate, and we'll come out and teach
Yeah,
you."
yeah.
Yo, I run like 2 hours to the man yard,
No
that
way.
evening. When I get there, I'm soaking wet. Because you know Jamaica hot, man. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I run 2 hours over there soaking wet. And the man said, yo man, you really come for true? I said, yeah, because I want to learn. Yeah, and from that day, man, he just teach me, guide me right through, and yeah, I never look back.
That's
Nah,
big.
man, that's good, man. That's good because a lot of people may not know, man. Like you've done a lot in a short amount of time. Like I know dudes who have, worked their whole boxing career to go to the Olympics, man. And you made that happen in a very short window. Like how many
Yeah,
years would you say? Like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was a short window, and that's a
That's
huge
perfect.
accomplishment. And
Yeah,
yeah, man, that's a testament to like you running 2 hours, man. You want it. Like most people would not do that.
Nah, man,
I
12,
know.
12 still running long as ever, man. Hey, 12, that's why you run longer than 2 hours? Because you used to run 2 hours to the man's house?
Yeah, man.
I'm like running with you, man. You run 2 hours every time.
Yeah, but I relax running though.
Yeah, I
Right,
like
right.
that, brother.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
marathon, man.
yeah, I relax running.
Yeah, so how's camp been going, 12? Everything.
Camp is good. Just getting ready to go put somebody aside. You know how it go. We don't play. When
Mm-hmm.
the 12 gauge rifle come through, you have to move. So
Yes, sir.
no joke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how was your visit to Las Vegas? I know your dad, my dad, sorry, went down there with you, and I saw you guys are working with Bob Santos and his heavyweight out there. So how was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. It was good. Like we have some good rounds in. I learn a lot, so I can't wait to get in the ring and just
Mm-hmm.
show the people them that I'm fully ready for this. And this is no joke. This is war. When you come on to war, you have to make sure that you're always in you're always in a ready mode. So
Yep. Yep.
I'm ready to go.
Tip top shape, man. Tip top shape. That's what's up. So
Yes,
yeah, what are you guys looking forward to do? I guess in the future then, because I know you guys obviously both want to get your wins next, but what is 12 looking to do in the next couple of fights?
Right now I just waiting to see if I'm gonna get a shot off of some title. I need that. It don't matter where it's coming from or what kind of title. I
Hmm.
need it like right now because right now I need to start climb. So once you have a shot of something, you know that your step just go more and more.
Yeah, yeah, man, and you've got the opportunity to work hand in hand with the best heavyweight in the world right now, Usyk. And
Yep.
yeah, man, how was that camp going over to Spain for one of his biggest fights of his life? And you got to be a part of that in a way.
So that camp was good. I learned a lot in that camp. So I I don't know about that camp. It was so amazing. I have a good time at that camp. Like so many stuff
I
happened in
heard.
that camp, but go learning. We never stop learn. Every day you learn more and more. And it was good thing Ras was there. Ras Amba was there too. So he was teaching me a lot to how to move, how to my technique and
Right.
stay on game. Don't mess around because this guy's a sharp killer. So yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was really good, man. Like we have a good time.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Russ Amber, man. Great guy. It's good that you had a guy there that knew you knew him. Makes definitely the trip easier for you.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm guessing, like from what I hear, you got the most rounds with Usyk. So how do you feel like it was in there with him? Like, is he truly the best heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah, he's a true champion, man. He's a true champion. I'm gonna lie. He's a guy who is just going. He never stop. He work hard. So
Yeah.
I have to say, yo, trust me. I have to give shout out to that guy because he's
Big
a
up
real
Usyk.
warrior.
Yes,
Big up
sir.
Alexander Usyk, man.
Yeah, man. He's got
A
the
real one.
rematch coming up in
Yeah,
I think
he gonna
December.
defeat Tyson Fury again. No matter what
Yeah.
Tyson Fury do, he gonna get
Yeah.
defeated again.
Yeah, he's got like that. I say to everybody, he's got that Michael Jordan gene. Like he can't lose, man. He don't want to lose.
The
Yeah,
gladiator still.
Yeah,
He
he's
is.
gonna fight right to the end because
yeah,
he
man.
don't want to lose.
He makes it happen, that man. It's love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
he's a smart. Like he's a very smart boxer. Like he's very smart. Like he work with you so good and
Mhm.
trust me, like you're in the ring working with him and it's like okay, he's not a guy who come to really destroy you, but you still have to watch out because
Right.
he don't
Yeah.
come to play around.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
no
he's
playing.
crafty.
Yeah, he
Very
Yeah.
don't play.
crafty. Yeah, man. So how's everything going with you, man? How's life treating you? How's the fam?
Ah, life is good, man. Just waiting on my next fight to come. Just can't wait to get in that ring, man. I just can't wait to go destroy somebody again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. Like you guys are a couple weeks out now, and you're pretty much you guys are ready to go at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So how's the?
Always, always ready, man. Just
Yep,
throw me
yep,
in there. I'm ready to go.
yep.
Hard times.
And that's good to know. I got a couple questions for both you guys from the community.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll finish up with Josh's questions, then I'll go to Ricardo. So here, Josh, another one for you. DXSS. How do you stay mentally prepared going into a fight?
Wow. You know what? Just keep myself accountable the weeks before. Um, Making sure my self-talk is positive. If anything negatives happen in my life, I try to handle it and make sure we can be
Oh, where'd Josh go? Oh, you
Just
good?
bug liquor.
Oh, you went out there. You gotta turn it.
Yeah, my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Ah, there you are.
You know what I did was someone called me. My apologies, y'all.
Oh no, that's all good. Yeah, it does that when somebody
So
call. Yeah,
I was saying, you know what? To stay mentally on point, me handling everything I need to handle prior to making sure what needs to get done with family, business. Just like going to war, I try to make sure everything is taken care of home so we can leave and handle it and come back, you know, to a family. You know what I mean? But as far as
mm,
that, if I ever slip mentally, holding myself accountable for my actions of what I've done to get here today. I was just telling the lady in class, one thing that's kept me on point mentally is reminding why I started boxing, uh, remembering to myself why I'm here and what I need to get done while I'm here has kept me on point for years, for decades. So I just want to say, it's a good question, and just me staying authentic to myself has kept me accountable mentally to get the job done. 100%.
Yeah, man. Got another one here from the Sweet Science. He says, what fighter has played a huge influence on your career? Best of luck in your next fight, champ.
Respect the Sweet Science 101. Which fighter has played a huge part in my career? I want to say all the fighters that I have met physically in the ring have played a huge part in my career, and all of the fighters that have really tried to take me down in the ring, man, really try to put me on my ass. They have played a huge influence. Roy Jones played a huge influence in my career. A man I never met, Sugar Ray Robinson and Jack Dempsey and Joe Jack Johnson, have played huge parts in my career. Salvador Sanchez, he died at age
Salvador.
21.
My God.
Huge part in my career. Sugar Ray Robinson and Leonard. And not to say, Big 12, my brother, my father, you guys have all played a huge part of my boxing career. I just want to say thank you to you guys. And also, thank you to United Promotions. Tyler and Don have given me an opportunity, and 12. And they also keep boxing alive in Ontario. So those people are a huge part in my boxing career and influence. And
Yeah, man.
let's go get this next fight for sure. So everyone along the journey is a part of the influence. My family and some of the fighters that really affected my game are like the names I just listed. I live by some of the codes they live by, and I train on some of the aspects they train on.
Yeah,
So,
man. Sure.
yeah.
My wife, she pretty much had the same question. How do you mentally prepare for each fight? So
I want
I'll
to just
shout her out for that.
remind myself. Thanks, Mel. I just want to
Yeah.
remind myself why I started in the beginning, and family is a huge part. Shout out to you and the family. I love you guys. Family's a
Yeah.
huge part. Keeps me
All
on
right,
point.
Big 12, we got a couple for you, brother. I thought this one was pretty funny. Spencer Wilcox, he said, "Why are you afraid to fight me?"
Yeah.
Shout out to Spencer
Yo,
Wilcox. He
Spence.
just got a big win. I think last weekend he just got a big win.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you get to see him
Yeah,
when you were out there in Vegas?
yeah, well, when I was in Vegas, I see Spence, man. Good kid, man. I love him, man. Chesty. He's the
Yeah.
realest thing, man. But you have to come up to my way because I can't go down to his way.
Snack size,
What's he like?
baby.
130, 135, I think he is.
You have to eat some cornmeal dumpling and come up, and I will sign a contract.
Spencer Wilcox, a great kid, man. I
Yo,
mean,
big shout out to
good
Wilcox,
talent from
man.
our country,
Spencer,
Canada.
bro.
If you ever get to
Yeah, man.
see him, go watch him, follow him. He's a good kid, man.
Great fighter, too.
Great fighter. Yeah. And then Sweet Science 101 as well. He says, how was the experience in Usyk camp? I guess you answered that already, but I'll ask you, have you sparred anybody else there, or was it just Usyk versus
Uh,
Warren?
I tried to spar one guy, but they give me a red flag.
Oh, okay.
Say no, you coming to spar with Usyk, not them. But the
Right,
rest of
right,
guys that was sparring, they were another. But they didn't give me that flag to spar with them. I don't know why, but
right.
I
No,
just
that's good.
work with it.
We
You're
all here
there.
for the champ, man. When we come in, we
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, you were there. You're there for Usyk, so yeah, they wanted to make sure that you were ready for him, man. That's a
Yeah,
good
so
sign, though. That's a good sign.
That
yeah.
is.
But yeah, bro, I'll let you guys head out, get ready to your nights. I'll let you drop your social medias. Yo, Josh, let the people know where they can find you, man.
Yo, once again, big shout out to Boxing Talk Up North. Razor, keep doing your thing. There's a fight coming up October 19th. We're at the Woodbine Casino. You can find me at joshuafrazer.com. That's Frazer. You can find me at Joshua Frazer on Instagrams, all social medias. And if you guys are looking to come down to the show October 19th, we're in Ontario, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Go look up United Promotions. We got tickets at ticketmaster.ca. And like I said, you can find me at any social media. Just search my name. And if you're looking to send those fight contracts down, just find me. Shoot us a shot, and we'll get you through the right channels.
Sir, and you 12, where they can find you at, brother?
Yeah, you know they can find me at Big 12 Boxing, Instagram. And once they look me up, they put in Ricardo Big 12 Brown. You can find me. I can't hide.
Come on. Can't hide Big 12. We can
Can't
see
hide,
everywhere,
man.
Sir.
dog.
I just
Can't
want to
hide.
say shout out to United. I want to say shout out to Tyler, Dan.
Mhm.
Long time I don't see Dan, but I have to say shout out to him. I hope he's
Oh, for
having a good
sure.
time. Hope he's having.
Tired, man.
I just hope he's living the life now, just
Yep.
chilling, retire. Yeah, but I want to say shout out to my coaches. Dwight have my back no matter what. So I want
No
to say
doubt.
shout out to Jackie Harmer too, who is always there for me no matter what too. So yeah, man, shout out to all my fans out there who's coming
Yep.
to come see the big fight,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's not gonna be normal, man. Get the ticket from early. It's
Yep.
gonna be
October
Rambo in the
19th.
jungle.
Yes, sir. You guys are going down. Gonna be a great card, great event. Thank both you guys for coming on the show, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for
And we'll
having us.
see you
Thank you.
soon, man.
Yeah,
We'll
man.
see you
Thank you,
soon.
man.
Absolutely, man.
And Boxing Talk up north. Stay on it, man. I
That's
appreciate
what's
you.
up, man. But we talking Crawford and Tio, man. Crawford versus Teofimo Lopez. Why not, man? I mean, I like the fight. I know some people not really high on the fight, but like my guy, Big Turkey Ali Sheik says,
Inside my heart, I want the fighters. I want to
Yes.
see the fighters.
We want the fighters, man. We want the dudes who want the fights. And Tio wants to smoke with Crawford. And some people think it's crazy. Some people are like, yo, man, this fight shouldn't happen. But Crawford is doing something that I thought I would never see him doing, man. He's using A-side tactics. I didn't think Terrence Crawford would be doing this, especially the way he's been done in his career. He's using A-side tactics. He's saying to Teofimo Lopez, you got to go fight another 54-pounder before you fight me. All while he's saying, I want the Canelo fight. And then people say, yo, you got to fight a 68-pounder. And Crawford saying no. It's like, man, you got to keep the same energy, my brother Crawford. I mess with you. Crawford's one of my favorite fighters, but he can't be doing this, man. These are A-side tactics. They not cool.
Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
Right, Tank? They ain't cool, man. Them A-side tactics, I don't mess with it, man. I don't like it at all. I think it's sucks that Terrence Crawford, he understands what it's been like to be blackballed in this industry for so long. He should not be doing this. If you don't want to fight Teofimo Lopez, just say that, man. There's definitely bigger fights for him. I think at 54, I think he should be fighting Sebastian Fandor for those two belts, and then he should fight. Say Tim Tszyu wins next week. Is it next weekend or weekend after? Say Tim Tszyu wins on the 19th. Crawford should be fighting him too, and unify 154, and then go on the way out, man. Get 3-time undisputed. Beat your own record. I feel like that's how Crawford will go down in the history books as one of the best to ever do it, is if he does 3-time undisputed. And who knows, maybe he'll stick around for the Canelo fight after that. And that's just the cherry on top. Even if he doesn't win that fight, he dared to be great. But I can't say I'm mad at Tio because Terrence Crawford is using A-side tactics right now, and I don't stand on that, man. Like, Terrence Crawford is one of my favorite fighters. I love him. He's a great stylistic fighter, and he does everything so right in the ring that I'm like, man, I think Teofimo Lopez, from what he's been saying, I don't agree with the things he's been saying. Sorry about that. Still sick, guys. The whole monkey jokes, I don't get that. I don't understand that. But some people are saying, don't give Tio the payday. Okay. I'm saying, go kick that man's ass, bro. Go embarrass him in front of the world. Go beat the shit out of him. He's making fun of black people. Okay, let's go embarrass Teofimo Lopez in front of the entire world. Send him out the way. But it's just a weird thing that's going on here, where people are rather than saying Terrence Crawford run to the fire. Oh no, like they're going on there saying that Terrence Crawford shouldn't fight Tio, and I think he should. And it's just weird that the Crawford fans are now being A-side people, when the whole time we all knew Terrence Crawford was being blackballed by the industry, by the PBC. They held their welterweights away from him. They didn't even recognize his WBO belt when he was at 47, which was messed up. And then now look at it. Now Terrence Crawford is the one with all the, he's got Turkey Alley Sheik behind him. He knows that. And I just feel like, man, you really gotta you gotta put Tio in the ring and beat him up because he's going around here talking crazy. This is what he wants. Give it to him, man. I mean, Terrence Crawford's the one who said himself. He said, "You disrespect me, I gotta go beat your ass. So go do it, bro." Like, I'm with Terrence Crawford when he's talking like that, and Terrence Crawford is a real one. He definitely checked Tio at the Canelo fight. That was funny. He put his finger in Tio's face, and I was like, "Yeah, man." Terrence Crawford is that guy, but at the same time, if he's chasing a Canelo fight and he's going around saying, he wants the Canelo fight, people telling him to go beat a 68 pounder, I understood that. That's why I was saying, go fight Jaime Munguia. I think that's a perfect fight for Terrence Crawford. I think he'll beat Munguia, even in Billy, Christian and Billy. Go beat him, but at the same time, Terrence Crawford is rocking this A-side card, man. And I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I think Teofimo Lopez, he's just trying to get attention, and this is his way of doing it because I think he knows that Top Rank is probably going to kick Tio out soon here, even though he's probably the most accomplished guy on Top Rank. But when you look at their roster, all the young guys that they got coming up, they got Keyshawn, they got Troy, they got Abdullah Mason, they got Jahad Tucker, they got the Vargas brother, they got Richard Torres. Like, they're not really worried about talent. They got a lot of talent coming up that pipeline that they can capitalize on. So I feel like they're telling Tio, like, you better start acting right or we're just going to kick you out the door. Because they did that to Edgar Berlanga, who was a much bigger star than Tio. Edgar Berlanga, he was filling up the theater. Yeah, no, absolutely. He was, man. And now it's just weird to see. It's just weird to go through. Sorry, y'all. Terrence Crawford is now being like Errol Spence in a sense. He's not giving Tio this fight because he's saying you're not worth it. Sorry, but let me give y'all a spin of things. If Crawford was to beat Tio, we can say that Tio is probably more accomplished than Errol Spence because he's beat 2 Ring Magazine champions. Say what you want, but don't we value multiple weight divisions and guys moving up in weight and winning titles? We value that. So, I mean, Errol Spence and Tio would definitely be Terrence Crawford's biggest wins for sure, man. Shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. She had a dope interview. Keep trucking on, Josh. Shout out to Oscar. Said much luck on the next fight, Josh. Shout out to Josh, man. It's my little broski, Joshua Frazer, man. Yeah. Tio is definitely getting foster treatment, and he doesn't like it. That's why he speaks that way about Top Rank all the time, and it's actually getting pretty annoying. But let's move on to the next topic, man. I want to know what y'all think. Is this fight a reasonable fight? Tank versus Lamont Roach. How do y'all feel about it, man? I mean, Tank fans, I get it, man. I get it. It's hard. It's hard to sit here and say this is Tank's fault, man. And look, I'm not a Tank defender. Before anybody goes out there and says, "Yo, this guy's a Tank fan," no, I'm furthest thing from it because I think Tank Davis and his team, they do some weird things. I feel like they've avoided a lot of fights in the past, and when the guys were at 35, they didn't take the fights, and when the guys moved up, they moved up. It was like they were just always staying one step behind those guys. The only guy that's been along the trail the whole time is Shakur Stevenson because, he started at pretty much the same weight as Tank, 26, I believe. So 126. So Shakur Stevenson is obviously following Tank. And Tank is kind of just, he's in that zone of where he's like, I'm not going to fight at 140 because T.O., Devin. I'm not saying he's scared. Don't get this twisted. I'm not saying he's scared of those guys. I'm just saying his team is telling us they don't want to move up to 140 because of the fight they had with Barrios. They felt like it was too much weight. I get that. Cool. But in the same sentence, you try to fight Ryo, who just fought at 140. What sense are you guys trying to like? What message are you sending to the world now? The message that I get is you guys will go up to 140 because you wanted Isaac Cruz as well too, who is also a 140 champ. So you guys wanted Ryo or Isaac Cruz, who both are at 140. But when Tio's name is mentioned, he's too big. Devin, obviously, he's having the issues. Whatever. Baranchek, I ain't even heard nothing about Baranchek. Excuse me. Jesus. I haven't heard nothing about Baranchek. So I don't know what Baranchek's doing. So I look at the fight and I'm like, damn, bro. Who else is at 140 though? You guys want to walk this plank with me? Because there was a fight that just got made that I was screaming to the hills that I feel like Tank should have took before this fight got made. You know? Let me bring up this dude, man. This dude out here, he don't get called out just to say. You know, this fight that just popped up, it was actually more so the guy who's the champ called up the other dude. Yeah, that guy right there, Liam Pyro. Nobody was calling for him. Nobody. He's got a strap. He's the IBF champ. He just beat Matias, who was the killer. And him and Richard Hitchison gonna fight because Hitchison, I think, is the mandatory. And from an interview we just saw with Liam Powell, he said he basically had to go call his mandatory. So he had to go call Richard Hitchison. All right, that's cool. The reason why I wanted Liam Pyro is not because I think Tank can't beat him or anything like that. It's because I think for Tank to beat Liam Pyro when Liam Pyro is fresh off a Matias win is huge for Tank. Like, it looks good on Tank. Like, oh, Tank just beat the dude who slayed the dude that all the 140 guys are scared of. That's how I feel like they could have wrote the story. But I get it, man. Liam Pyro, maybe they were in negotiations. But I feel like Liam Pyro didn't have a fight for a while because he was talking about fighting Devin Haney. So Liam Pyro was obviously available until recently. And Tank and Loma, we knew that fellow before Crawford fought. He turned down the fight because he was sitting in the crowd in Crawford's fight. Shout out to Oscar. He said Tank versus Roach is a reasonable because he looked for the top opponents, but Loma said quack. Yeah, Loma did duck. We're not gonna let him off the hook. Ryo's busy. Yeah. Ryo's got to rest. Baranchek got a fight that fell down. Yeah, no, and shout out to Lamont Roach because he's probably is the best 30-pounder. You know, when you look at the 130 division, he probably is the best guy right now. But I think from my selfish point of stand of boxing, I would have just been like, man, if Tank moved up to fight at 140, that would have been like, I'm not gonna say more acceptable, but that would have been more appealing to me as a fan. I could appreciate that more, you know. But I'm not gonna harp on it too much because I think Tank Davis and his team, I'm gonna give them a note on this one because they are partially right. Like, everybody is kind of busy. Shakur's injured. You know, Loma sat out the fight. Baranchek, I guess he had a fight that fell out. And, you know, the other guys are kind of just like not really there yet either. Like, you know, Floyd Schofield's not really there. He's still green. He hasn't fought nobody, in my opinion. You know, maybe Zepeda and Farmer are fighting. Like, Zepeda wasn't gonna fight Tank regardless. Before he got that Tevin Farmer fight, he was talking about sitting out because he just had a child. So he wasn't fighting. So this is another part of the equation that I look at and I say, you know, Tank can run into some trouble here. Because, you know, if Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson fall in love with that Sheik money over there, they might tell Baranchek, yo, come over here and fight us. Over in another country, you're going to make a ton of money. I'm gonna take your belt. You know, they can entice the others to come over there and fight, leaving Tank in a place where they don't want to be, where they won't be able to call the fighters that they want because the turkey bag is just as better and you got an opportunity to win. Now, that could be, you know, that could all be speculation. Oh shoot, shout out to Berto in the building. Duarte versus Tank will be fired. Yo, Duarte and they are fighting Duarte and who's Kenneth Sims, isn't it? That's a good fight. I think Kenneth Sims might lose, and I'm not even hating. Duarte, he be punching. Shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Y'all go check him out if you could. He said Oscar stated Baranchik was supposed to fight Mark Chamberlain. Those plans were thwarted by the upset loss. Yeah, when you get on the turkey cards, man, upset's gonna happen. We know that. IBF makes you fight your mandatory. If you don't fight your mandatory, yeah, but here's the thing, Oscar. The IBF didn't order that fight. Liam Pyro said, I'm taking out my mandatory. He said that. Liam Pyro was like, I call my mandatory so that I can get it over with. Meaning he don't think much of Richard Hitchison. He don't think Richard Hitchison is some killer. And neither do I, to be honest, because I swear Richard Hitchison was the same one when Sabril Matisse was holding that belt. He was like, oh, I'm going to go to WBC route because I don't like the 10-pound rehydration. When he was probably going to be called to fight Sabril Matisse. Like, he was going to get ordered up. And I felt that was kind of weird. And then now that that monster's out the way, now he want to run back to the IBF. He could have went to fight Pollo. Could have fought Sandor Martin because I think he's high in the WBC too. But whatever. He got a shot. Yep. Smash that like button. Yeah, man. Pyro. Yeah, it's a good fight for sure. It's a weird location, but Puerto Rico. But they love boxing, so shout out to Puerto Rico, man. You know, they show love to Berlanga, so they love boxing, man. That's for sure. But yeah, I think my only issue with this whole Tank and Lamont Roach thing is like it's showing us reality of. I'm not gonna say Tank's a cash cow, but it's like maybe you don't have as much power as you guys think you got because you can't even get the big names in the ring with you. Yeah, you could say there's a whole bunch of like there's a perfect storm to say, you know, like there's a lot of things that happen during this time that Tank was looking for a fight that, you know, took all these guys out the picture. And Loma's really the only one that ducked. Like the other guys, they all had valid excuses in my eyes. Lomachenko ducked, but that goes to tell me maybe the numbers weren't what we think they are. And then I don't know if you guys got to watch Cigar Talk. Shoot. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. But on Cigar Talk, Lamont Roach, he actually goes in on the whole Javante Davis and Tank situation as far as the saying, you know what, I'm not gonna play it because I'm not cool. Like, I don't know Cigar Talk, so I don't know how you feel about me playing his videos on my channel. But anyways, you can go check it on. It's on Cigar Talk. He had a recent interview with Lamont Roach. And Lamont Roach said like the numbers that they gave him for the offer wasn't like jumping off the mat. Like he's like, yo, the offer wasn't crazy. And this is nuts for me to hear because Lamont Roach, I don't know if y'all know, he is signed to Pro Box now. He is a Pro Box fighter. So shout out to Pro Box for getting in the game because now the Pro Box has been. This weekend, they had one of their fighters going off against world champion Rios, who's fighting Nick Ball. They've had their guy Hot Rod that fought on the Turkey Alley Sheet card, Terrence Crawford against David Morrell. Shout out to they got Angelo Leo, who's the champion. Shout out to Pro Box. Though they've been here a short amount of time, they got champs now. Lamont Roach and Angelo Leo are Pro Box fighters. They both got belts. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to Oscar. Maybe Pyro's trying to build a fan base at another country. That's gangster for Pyro, but he beat Matias. Now he's going to take away his fans. Yo, shout out to Pyro, man, because I heard like the only reason why he wanted the Cambosis fight because he's not a big draw in Australia. So yeah, man, you know Eddie Hearn, you're gonna try to build your profile up. He brings his fighters everywhere. I think Jaleel Hackett's on that card too. So shout out to them, man, for getting that done. But yeah, man, I just I think that these guys you need to be careful, man. Because this guy right here,
Inside my heart, I want the fighters. I want to
Yes.
see the fighters.
That guy trying to take over boxing in a way like we've never seen. And for some people, it's scary because they know change is coming. But for me, I'm like, yo, if he's all in here to make it fair, make it good, make it, put the money in the sport, why should we be mad, man? Why should we even question this guy, Turkey Ellis Sheik? He's doing good by us, yo. But you know how it is, man. When new things come in, everybody gets a little shaky, everybody gets a little mad. It is what it is. But yeah, man, on to the next one. Nick Ball. Shout out to Nick Ball. Yo, crazy story about Nick Ball is I've actually bet against him twice in loss. Well, the first time I didn't really lose. He had a draw against Ray Vargas. I thought he was gonna lose to Ray Vargas. And then on the 5v5 card, I definitely thought he was gonna lose to Ray Ford, who was making his last defense before he moved up. And Ray Ford, he didn't know what to do with that pressure, man. Nick Ball is definitely a wrecking ball. And it's funny about Nick Ball is this is the only guy they don't ask Inoue about. Like they don't ask him about Inoue. They ask all these other guys about Inoue. Espinoza, Angelio, all the other 26s. They ask him, hey, what about Inoue moving up? Nick Ball? They don't ask him because you know what? I feel like they know Nick Ball is not a game to be played with. I think Nick Ball is probably, and I'm gonna have to get my boy Edwin on the show because Edwin, round one talk, he loves some anyway, but Nick Ball is probably the worst style matchup for Inoue because dude is like a Mack truck. He's huge, man. Nick Ball, he's like a little wrecking ball, man. And I feel like he's gonna give you that pressure. Like I saw it in the Ray Ford fight. Ray Ford's a slick fighter. He fights in spots, yes, but he's very slick. And this dude, Nick Ball, made the fight ugly. That's all you have to do. If he can make a fight ugly against Inoue, we never seen Inoue be dog. We never seen him be gritty. He never had to be gritty. If you can, like my bro said, those are the toughest dudes to fight because they make you be somebody you're not gonna be normally, and because they're just overwhelming with it. But like I said, Ryo did do a great job against Isaac Cruz, but there were spots where Ryo was getting tagged too. And Nick Ball, I think he's better than Pitt Cruz because Nick Ball actually throw jabs. Pitt Cruz don't throw no jabs. We know that. He's just coming with hooks. Nick Ball actually throws some jabs. He got that little bob and weave, and his action's crazy, man. And I bet against him twice, lost twice. So, I'm on the Nick Ball trade now. Like he done take my money twice. Nick Ball's he's definitely a dog. And I think like he gives Inoue the biggest problems. Actually Espinoza does because of the height, but Nick Ball's a close second. I think Nick Ball's a close second because of his style. Nick Ball's the weakest of the champions. I don't know, man. I don't know. I used to think the same thing, Oscar. And then I noticed something. But Nick Ball his aggression is actually taking away from these guys. These guys don't know what to do with this guy. And I realized that like Ray Vargas, if you watch that fight, Ray Vargas could not do nothing in that fight. And some people say it was dirty tactics, there was a lot of slamming, but I just saw a dude that didn't respect anything that Ray Vargas threw at him. Believe he has the talent to be a champ. No, Nick Ball is a champ, bro. He stole Ray Ford's belt. He's a champ, man. He for sure is a champ. But yeah, man. I know it sounds crazy, bro, but like I think we're getting hung on Pitbull Cruz because he beat up on Rolly Romero and Giovanni Cabrera. Now remember, I don't know if you saw Zepeda made Giovanni Cabrera look like nothing. Zepeda took him out quick. And yeah, he moved up in weight. Or he didn't move up in weight, sorry, he moved back down. But Zepeda made easy work of him. And then Rolly Romero, we know who he is now. He's not who we thought he was at all. He's definitely not what do you win? He win 2 belts? Nah, he's definitely not a champ now. But Pitbull Cruz, my issue with Pitbull Cruz is you're not gonna get no jabs. So you don't even have to worry about that. You just gotta worry about the shots coming from around the guard. So he's like a one-dimensional fighter. And Tank beat him with one hand, which is I don't know why people say Pitbull Cruz deserves a rematch because shit. But he got 2 hands. The fight's gonna be even worse. Bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to drink this tea so I can get through this, man. But yo, shout out to Janabek, yo. You got the big win down under. Yo, man. We just gotta see real fights at 60, I believe, man. I think 160 is a division that is top heavy. I don't know when we're gonna see these guys fight, man. But I want to see like Carlos Adames versus Janabek, Hamza Shiraz versus Janabek. Janabek, he just, I don't know, man. And this fight was kind of weird because I heard it was only for one title. I never understood that because, it wasn't that guy like the IBF or was it the IBF? I don't know which title it was for now. I think the WBO said they backed out of this fight. So it was only an IBF fight, which, in my opinion, it tells us a lot about the opponent that the WBO didn't even respect this guy's ranking. They're like, nah, you can't put our belt in that fight, which is crazy to me. But, it is what it is, man. Janabek getting all mad. This Bob Arum didn't win the purse bid. Man, I wouldn't win that purse bid either. Like that guy wasn't who he thought he was. He didn't even go in there and give Janabek a fight. And then shout out to my guy, Stephen Edwards, Breadman. He actually brought up a good fight, man. He said, it's what Breadman said. Stephen Edwards, I don't know if y'all know him. He's Caleb Prant's trainer. Great dude, man. He actually you reach out to him, he'll talk to you. Like he's a good dude. He said Janabek is good, but all that boogeyman stuff is fluff. He's just confident and willing to fight anybody that scares fighters in this era. That's true. Kyrone Davis would give him all he want and then some. Shout out to Kyrone Davis. He got a good win on that 10 card over Elijah Garcia. And a lot of people were like, what? Yo, who's Kyrone Davis? Yo, Kyrone Davis. He also gave, I think, Benavidez a tough fight too. But he's a very good talent, Kyrone Davis, man. And I think like Janabek should fight him. I think he's a PBC fighter. No, I don't even think he's a PBC fighter. But I think they can call him up and give him a fight. And Kyrone Davis would definitely give him problems, man. Because Kyrone Davis, he fought tough against Benavidez, if I'm not mistaken. And Janabek's not fighting nobody. So why not give somebody who can come in and give you a fight a real chance, man? But you know what it is. You know how it is, man. People gonna say what they gonna say about Janabek, but it is what it is, man. He gotta fight somebody someday. I'm not a huge fan of him. Jesus. Yeah. Janabek could be stripped due to this. Oh, okay. That's what happened with him, eh? Okay, you gotta pay them. Yo, you see, that's why I heard somebody say like they mad at Turkey Al-Sheikh because he want to bring one belt in the game. And this is how you know we're conditioned, bro. Because the belts are really just a money grab, really. Like the belts, you know what I'm saying? We don't need all them belts, man. We all right with one. I'm all right with saying this guy's the king of the division. I'm okay with that. Especially if you're gonna also be in the era of people that tell me Tank Davis belts don't matter to him. All right, then. So then, what we got all these belts for then? If we're gonna say that, like, I'm all right with just one belt, one champ, one king. Like, you can't say anything about that. If you're the man, you're the man. That's how it used to be. But now everybody wants fake hardware, man, because we got interns, we got youth belts, we got gold belts. You got a belt for everything now. Everybody's world champion. That's the way it looked. Yeah, yeah, Kyron. Yeah, he did. He looked good, but like Benavidez was just, Benavidez is too big for him. Benavidez is too big for a lot of people. Apparently, Canelo, Edgar Berlanga called him a biatch because he said that. Shout out to Edgar Berlanga. Oh man, Puerto Rico. But yeah, man, Kyron Davis and Janabek. I think that'd be a decent fight. Like that's something I would watch because I feel like Janabek will be tested. But we don't know, man. We don't know. It's tough. I think Top Rank. I don't know if Top Rank even believes in Janabek anymore. Like they don't seem invested in him. And maybe it's him, maybe it's his personality, but they don't like. I know they had a fight for him in Las Vegas one time, and now it's supposed to be this fight with the Australian dude. They had that set up for him, and I feel like he messed that up. So now they're looking at him like we ain't giving you no more shots, And that's the thing about Bob Arum. Like he's very direct, and you know when you're the guy, and you know exactly when you're not the guy with Bob Arum, and that's why Tio is saying what he's saying, man. But moving on, we moving on to Dr. Boxing Talks guy, Junto Nakatani. He said he's accepting the Inoue brothers, man. Yo, I don't know what this meant. I would not know what this meant a few years ago. But, shout out to Naoya Inoue. I have watched that division because of him. And along the way, I've got to see some of the other guys down there. And definitely, I think the first time I saw Junto Nakatani fight was on that it was a Top Rank card. It was in America, and he blasted dude. Like, man, I forget what fight it was. It had to be like knockout of the year though, and I think it was against one of the Molini brothers from Australia. Anyways, Gentle Nakatani, I was like, what the flip? Like this dude obliterated Buddy's face, man. Like it was crazy. And to be honest, I've watched him after that, and it's been the same. Like he's just destroyed everybody. And then while watching him, I'm hearing about this young cat, Mexican cat, who's cool as hell, Bam Bam Rodriguez. Hearing about him too while he's coming up. And then I'm like, all right, let me watch this little dude, man. 23 years old, beating legends. Man, and then he beats Estrada, who I know Estrada because of Chocolito. This Chocolito, I liked him too. So I was like, damn, I watched Chocolito beat on Estrada beat on Chocolito, and I'm like, damn, little cat Bam just beat up on Estrada. Damn, yo, these young guys at this division, they're different, man. I've never been interested in the smaller divisions in all my years, and now there's like 4 or 5 names, maybe even like 26 is also small. So like there's a whole bunch of dudes from like 26 to 15 that I'm just like I'm excited to see over the next few years when they start to move up, if they can catch each other in weight. Yeah, Oscar says Gento beats Takama but loses to Naoya. Eh? Yo, we'll have to see, man. I think Gento got He got something in his gloves for sure. Shoot, he sounds like a rocket when he hits people. Dr. Boxing Talk. My guy, Big Gentle. Yeah, Junto, yep. He's going to be called the Inoue Slayer. He'll beat Naoe, Takuma, and Koke. Okay. Yo, do you guys think he's going to like try to unify the division first before he moves up? Because I mean, I don't know who else is holding the other belts there. I know Inoue's brother has like one of the other belts. But I don't know who the other person is with the belts. That'd be interesting to see Gento do that, man. For sure. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. You know, just been sick lately like a dog, but we gonna get through it, man. Be interesting to see what goes with Gento Nakatani and the rest going on down there. And this is a topic here I kind of already spoke on a bit. Liam Pyro versus Richard Hitchens. I always say Hitchinson, but it's Richard Hitchens. In Puerto Rico. Obviously, that seems to me like what happened here was, I don't know. It seems like Eddie Hearn may have booked this in advance, thinking that Sabril Matias was going to get past Liam. I think that's what was going to happen, and I think the opponent was going to be Devin Haney, because if you look at the timeline, Devin Haney should have beat Ryan Garcia. That should have been behind him. And then you end the year off in Puerto Rico, going to Puerto Rico to slay Sabril Matias. But obviously, boxing, it's been a crazy year. That's just my conspiracy, by the way. I don't know if anything about that's facts. I'm just spitting out stuff. That's my conspiracy of it, is that plans were ruined by the boxing gods, and Eddie Hearn had a date locked in Puerto Rico, and he couldn't get out of it, you know. just like he had a plan locked in for Philly, he couldn't get out of it. You know, he had to bring that fight over here to Philly too. After losing the purse bid, I can only imagine how much he spent getting that fight over here. But it's one of those things, man, where I'm just like, the fight makes no sense of being in Puerto Rico, but at the same time, he's putting Puerto Rico fighters on the card, so the fans are gonna go out and see their people, you know. And he's making an event and Puerto Rico loves boxing, man. So it's kind of maybe Eddie Hearn just dipping his shoes in a new market, you know, seeing what Matchroom can do here. Yes, Jake Paul's been there, but he went there with Amanda Soriano and sold out, you know. So he's got Sabril Matias, but Matias needs to obviously build his brand back up, and I think that's what he's trying to do. I thought he was gonna be on this card, man. Honestly, I still wanted him on this card. But apparently he has a fight scheduled in Puerto Rico around the same time. So I don't know. I don't know how that plays with Matchroom. I don't know, man. I think exactly, Oscar. I was just saying that. I was gonna say that. I think this is pretty much another event for Matias to get his get back. You know, they're gonna show Liam Pyro, hope Liam Pyro wins, so that they can set up the rematch. Because I can guarantee you, if Hitchens wins, he's not fighting in Puerto Rico. You know, Richard Hitchens is not gonna fight in Puerto Rico. Not against Sabril Matias. He's gonna want to go back home. He's gonna probably want to go to the Garden and fight in Hulu Theater, because I don't think he gets sell the main. Or Brooklyn. I think he's from Brooklyn. Maybe the Barclays. Maybe he could do the Barclays. That's still a big arena. I don't know where Richard Hitchens gonna fight after, because Hitchens himself, he's not like a big brand himself. So this is kind of like this is a cross on the road for both guys. Liam Pyro, if he can go and have a great showing, he can really put himself on the map as the guy. Shout out to Just Do Boxing, my guy. What's going on, brother? And Liam Pyro, I like him a lot, man. You know, when if y'all go check my video out, I did a video of him and Matias, and bro, the Matias fans was eating me. And it's weird because I picked Matias to win. I just said he was going to struggle. I was like, Liam Power was going to give him everything. Liam Power was going to probably make this a hell of a fight. And these Puerto Rican fans were coming out of nowhere, just killing me. Like, you don't know boxing. You don't know what you're talking about. Matias is going to kill him. I just didn't see, because, like, anytime you see a southpaw involved in a fight, the fight's probably going to be very, very awkward, especially in the beginning. Especially if a guy like Sabril Matias, who just comes straight forward, he doesn't really have a style of being slick. So a southpaw is going to throw him off because now the punches are coming from different angles. You know, his lead hand is going to be pretty much gone because of where the southpaw, left hand is. So Sabril Matias, I don't even know if he's fought a southpaw before. I don't think we ever looked at that because it seemed like he just didn't know when to let his hands go. And it seemed like when he did, Pyro would just escape at the right time and piece him up. And he was fighting, and Matias was trying to fight in spurts. I never understood it. I don't know if it was a cardio plan. I don't know what it was. But his corner was right because his corner kept saying, you need to let your hands go. And when he did let his hands go, he was he was hurting Pyro. But he couldn't sustain it. So it makes me think maybe fitness was a problem. Maybe he wasn't in shape. We don't know, man. But Sabril Matias, he did a lot of talking leading up to that fight, calling every single fighter chicken, saying he's gonna fight Regis Program. He was making other fights when he didn't even fight Pyro. So that's boxing, bro. It'll humble you. This sport's brutal. If you think you that, nah, man, this sport will definitely humble you in a way you've never thought, man. And Sabril Matias, I was kind of pulling for him also because I felt like PBC didn't give him a fair shake over there. I felt like he didn't get a lot of opportunity. He didn't really headline any events on PBC. He didn't fight as often as I thought he should have. And that's probably the case with most guys over there. And he never got a homecoming. So when you sign with a new promoter and you sell out the venue in your home, you're a headliner now. I'm sure Eddie Hearn is telling them what fights he can get after this fight. That guy Liam Pyro definitely he thought he was just gonna roll over him. He didn't take him serious, and it showed in his performance, man. It showed a lot, and I don't know. I don't know where Sabril Matias goes, but maybe Sabril Matias, maybe he'll get back on that, but I don't think so, man. I don't know because his style is just so straightforward, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna change. Like he's not on his toes at all. He's flat footed. And something that I noticed Liam Power was doing was like anytime that Sabril Matias was starting to load up is when Liam Power would engage with him to back him up, to make him reset. And I thought that was really, really good because every time Sabril had to reset, Power reset, but his reset was he moved. So now it was like Sabril had to reset twice because he's flat footed. So he resets his feet and then now he's got to reset his movement. Where Pyro's moving and punching. So it was stylistically a nightmare for Sabril Matias. And I always said a pure boxer would give him hell, which is why I always told people Devin Haney would beat Sabril Matias because at the time Devin Haney, when he was using his jab, in my opinion, was probably one of the best pure boxers in boxing because of his jab. Not his chin, not anything else that these people say. His jab is definitely one of the best in boxing. And when you got a good jab, bro, you can win a lot of fights just off that. You don't need power because your jab is so commanding to everything else that goes on in that ring. But we'll see how Devin comes back, man. Shout out to him. Hope he's good. But yeah, man, Pro Box has been postponed this week due to the hurricane. Sad news, man. Just want to say prayers out to everybody out there who's going through it right now. hope the community could all band together, get everything straightened out quickly down there in Florida. I think it affected mostly the Tampa area. Not too sure, but I just hope everybody's safe. Prayers out to the family, man. I hope everybody's good and you know, get straight, man. I totally understand why Pro Box postponed this event. Take care of your community, take care of your family, and yeah, man, it's definitely gonna be a little cleanup there down there in Florida, but they're strong people, man. They used to it. I'm sure they'll pick it all up, pick the pieces up, and keep it rocking, man. But we can't wait to see Pro Box back. I think they rescheduled for the 16th. I didn't I didn't check the link, but I saw that it was postponed because I was excited to see that Chris Colbert was making his return. But yeah, we had that whole situation going on with the hurricane and it is what it is, man. We can't really get too mad about that, right? People gotta take care of their family, people gotta take care of their situation, and that's totally understandable. Yeah, shout out to Just Do Boxing. Keep building, my guy. Yes, sir. You already know what it is, man. Yeah, and then we got the November card, man. Probably Matchroom's best card, man. The Boots card. Bam Rodriguez, Khalil Cole, um, Shakur's cousin, Zaquan Moses, I think his name is. Who else is on that card? Yeah, Ray Ford. Yep, Ray Ford's making his return to 130, new division. Yeah, and Ammo Williams, Ammo Austin Williams is back. Off that loss against Hamza Shiraz. Hopefully, he can get back on that horse and get some good fights and get some good wins in, man. I'm a big fan of Ammo. I thought he's always a good fighter, man. I never thought anything bad of him. I just thought, man, he just ran into a monster in Hamza Shiraz. That's what that was. He didn't fight bad. It wasn't a situation of, he wasn't good enough to win. I just feel like Hamza Shiraz is just probably, in my opinion, the best at 60. I know he don't have no title. He's unproven. He hasn't really beaten another champion. I'm just going off eye test. So I'm basing it off that. And if people want to say I'm being biased, go right ahead, man. I totally understand it because Hamza Shiraz is definitely he's 6'1", I think, or 2. Big guy, fills out, and he's a great boxer, man. Great boxer. But this card here is obviously one of the best cards Matchroom's ever put out. Matchroom USA. Remember, I said USA at the end there. One of the best cards they put out so far. They got Boots, Ennis, and Bam, the top 2, and then they've stacked it with a bunch of guys who have come up the ranks and are continuing to come up the ranks. And it's going to be a hell of an event, man. I think it's November 9th, I think, out in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Arena. And shout out to Boots, man. Defending his title, fighting against his mandatory. Hopefully he can get by Karen, make it look good for us. So that, we ain't got nothing to say, man. Because, these fans, bro. These fans are something else, and I've been a critic of Boots Ennis in the sense of I don't like how he calls Crawford out, but don't want him, excuse me, jeez, don't want to move up to 54. When I think the best fights are at 54 for him. I've always said Boots Ennis can go make a legacy at 54 if he goes up there and beats everyone. But nah, he don't want to do that. He want to be undisputed. Cool. Be undisputed. But don't call the king of 47 moving up to 54. He's moving up. I get it, man. Boots Ennis, Crawford, huge fight. Absolutely. For the boxing hardcore fans. But if he's at 47, you know what I'm saying? Crawford's at 54. Boots is a big guy for 47. He can probably make 54 easy. And he probably comes in the ring same size as Crawford too, or bigger. But you know, I don't know, man. They don't seem like they want that right now, and that's okay. They're not chasing it, but I just feel like, okay, if you're not chasing it, why are we talking about it? You know, sorry, y'all. Like, why are we talking about it? If that's not a fight that you want right now, come on, Boots. Oh yeah, yes, I did talk to Big 12 already. Um, yeah, you'd have to go back. Shoot, I don't know if I could drop the YouTube link, but if you go back on the YouTube, you can see the whole interview from the start. Shout out to Big 12. He was in the building before. You know, it was an interesting story about how he started boxing. Some I've known him for a few years now. Something I just never asked him, and to him to tell us that story was pretty cool. See where his journey is now. You know, in a short time, he's accomplished a lot of things in boxing that your average boxer wouldn't even accomplish at this point. So shout out to Big 12. Keep it on it, man. And it's tough when you're from Jamaica, man. Coming from another country, moving his whole life here, starting a new life, you know. He's got a wife, got a kid with him, family on his back. It is what it is, man. But yeah, we got the big one. The big one. Arthur Better BF and Bivol. Let's talk about the undercard though. Hey? Let's talk about the undercard.
Inside my heart, I want the fighters.
Yes.
I want to see the fighters.
We want to see the fighters, Turki Al-Sheikh. We do. So let's check out the undercard, man. Let's see what Turki Al-Sheikh is bringing to us this coming weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom Arena, which I did not know was an arena. I didn't know it was an arena, honestly. I just thought, because on TV, they just usually show you all the celebrities and the fans that are close to the ring. So I just thought it was a smaller venue. Nah, apparently this is like a massive venue. And shout out to Patricia, who I had on the show before. She had went to, I think, Usyk and Fury. Was it? She said she went to one of them anyways. And it was in the Kingdom Arena. And she said it was a massive venue. People everywhere. It was full. And I was like, I never knew that because we never got that on TV. I just always thought that it was a smaller venue, intimate venue with all these celebrities, because that's all they showed us was all these celebrities who are there. But no, apparently this is a huge venue. So yeah, the co-main event is a rematch. Honestly, if you haven't seen the first one, it's a beauty. Go back and watch it. It ended in a draw. That's why this one is so important. Sorry. Got Fabio Wardley versus Frazer Clark. These are two young heavyweights. The winner pretty much is going to be ascending into the top of the heavyweight conversation. The loser will still have a chance to make back up because the heavyweight division, it's more about the older guys, you know. The older you get, the more opportunities you get. So the loser will have a chance to rebuild and get back to that spot. But I think the winner gets pushed way up into the talks of some title fights. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes out. And then you got Jay Apataya versus Macy, cruiserweight belt, 12 rounds. Jay Apataya defending his belt. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Sarah Meta. Sorry, I hope I didn't botch that. And then the first ladies boxing match in Saudi Arabia. This may not be a big deal for us in the West, but this is huge for the country of Saudi Arabia because, you know, women's rights are a lot different out there than they are here. And for them to have a woman's bout shown, you know, displayed to their country, as women will be fighting amongst men in a way. is different, So shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh, for expanding his horizon with his country. If you ever watch that interview, Turkey Al Sheikh, he talks about in 2030 the mission for his country, Saudi Arabia. He's not the leader anyway. He's just a part of the sports entertainment part of it. So that's why he's doing all these things with sports. He talks about their goal of where they want to be with tourism, and that's why he's bringing these big mega events to Saudi Arabia, is to provide that for that tourism factor. So these big events, these big boxing events, the big F1 events, the big tennis events, the shows, the concerts, it's all for tourism. They're building up their tourism for 2030. I don't know what they're building out there in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what they got going on, but it's obviously going to be a huge thing. And then Ben Whitaker, he's fighting against Cameron. Ben Whitaker, I think it's probably his first 10 rounder, light heavyweight. Flashy fighter. We all love watching Ben Whitaker. He's a young prospect who is very, very, very talented. And then the big one, man, Arthur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for all the belts at light heavyweight. Got all that on the line there. And the IBO will be shown as well. I don't know why it's not here, but the IBO will also be on the line. So 5 belts. Now, that's something we don't talk about. A 5-belt undisputed fight, man. We don't really get that often, I guess, So for us, the fans, it's kind of like it's different. But shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh, man. Again, I'm gonna say it. Turkey Al Sheikh is definitely he's definitely come out and he's made sure he's put a stamp on the sport, man. And we gotta love Big Turk, man. We love Big Turk.
Inside my heart, I want the fighters. Yes. I want to see the fighters.
Yeah, I want to see the fighters too, Big Turk, and I want to see them all. I know he's gonna bring that, right, Tam?
Stevenson. Yeah.
Gotta bring you over there too at some point, but hopefully you guys can do a joint deal where y'all make bread together. Cause I get it. But yeah, the last topic, man. Fight of the year possibility, undisputed. Arthur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. All the marbles. One of the 50-50 fights. Probably the most 50-50 fight we've had in a long time. A very long time. Maybe we thought Spence and Crawford was 50-50 until it happened. So maybe this is a similar situation. We think it's 50-50 until the fight gets rocking and somebody just looks way better than the other guy. But I highly doubt this is going to be that type of fight. I think this fight's going to be talked about a while. And the rematch, we'll be looking forward to the rematch. It'll be a great event. I hope that these dudes can both do themselves a favor and introduce themselves to the boxing world, because a lot of people don't know that this is probably the best fight on paper this year. That these two dudes, because where they're from, they've had unfair situations happen to them. Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev are both from Russia. When the war against Ukraine had kicked off, I don't think they were gonna fight. I know that they were talking about fighting, like Arthur Beterbiev and Bivol at that time for undisputed, because I think they all had the belts at that time, the same thing, but maybe not. Anyways, I knew they were talking about fighting, and the WBC came out and said Dmitry Bivol can't fight for the for the WBC belt because he's a citizen of Russia, and Russia was doing bad things. And I don't understand why we bring politics into sports. I've never understood it. I feel like sports has to be the one spot where we as a planet, people, should all be able to watch and enjoy freely. You know, I'm a black guy, black Canadian. Oscar De La Hoya was my favorite fighter growing up. It had nothing to do with the way he looked. It had nothing to do with where he was from. It had nothing to do with anything like that. What appealed to me was the dude fought everybody, one, and two, his style of fighting was what I liked. He was slick, a great body puncher, absolute dog, heart. Um, sorry. Another fighter who I liked watching. No real relation to me at all. Manny Pacquiao. He's from the Philippines. Manny Pacquiao was exciting about him. His charisma, his body language, man. He was just always like a ball of energy. You know, when Pacquiao was fighting, there was just that excitement in the ring. And I feel like with the WBC taking their stance on the way they took their stance on Bivol, the world kind of turned their back on him because of where he's from. And that's unfair because Dmitry Bivol is an incredible boxer. His style is probably what you want most kids to do when they get in the ring. He's very fundamentally sound. Now, Arthur Beterbiev is also Russian, but he spent most of his life or his professional life boxing, I'm guessing, that's what we could say, in Canada, training with Mark Ramsey. So he's adopted citizen here to Canada. He actually has a Canadian flag on his box rec. So he was treated a little different. You know, he was accepted to fight for the WBC because he's living in Canada and he's got a Canadian flag on his box rec. But he's not Canadian, but you know, we adopt. we you know, we're with Arthur. I'm with Arthur because he's representing Canada. And he's got Mark Ramsey in his corner. He's got a lot of Canadian influence in his corner. He's embraced our country. He's never spoke bad about Canada. You know, he's a stand-up guy. So I stand behind Arthur. I'm picking Arthur to win the fight. But Dmitry Bivol is an incredible fighter. I hope they both put on a great performance and they can both get stock out of this fight because I feel like the whole boxing industry turned their back on these two gentlemen because of where they're from. And I didn't feel that was right, man. You know, they didn't pick war with Ukraine. That wasn't them. You know, whether they think it's okay or not, that's not the question. It's just we can't abolish them from boxing because of what their world, you know, what their leader did. You know, I don't think that's the message we should be sending. So what we think that everybody in Russia is happy with what's going on, because I can tell you can probably go there and not everybody's going to agree that what's going on is right. So they made these guys out to be bad guys before, you know, they got a chance to make history. And, you know, shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh, who's here doing the good deed. Get this fight done. He got it done. And yeah, man. We're gonna see who the best man is.
But this kid don't got a chance in hell.
We're gonna see who gonna win, man. But I got Arthur Beterbiev. Oh, shout out to my guy Edwin. We'll bring him up in here, man. What's going on, brother? What's going on, my guy?
What's up?
Everything good?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're there. We can
All
hear
right.
you.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I've
good,
been
brother.
trying to catch. Okay, here we
Oh,
go. I
yeah,
had the
yeah,
background
okay.
echoing. My bad.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, unfortunately, like my time schedule with you, we have family things and jobs of our own,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and I was trying to get you back and text you back on Instagram and everything, but I'm glad that I saw you tonight and you're on and everything, and talking about this fight and keeping the sport that we love alive. So what's
Yes,
going
sir.
on? What are we talking about here
Oh man, I
with
was
this?
just talking about Arthur Beterbiev and Bivol. I was actually speaking more on like I'm mad at the WBC for like turning their back on those guys when they did. I don't know if you remember when the whole Russia and Ukraine war started and
Yeah,
basically Mauricio said that those guys can't represent my belt because of where they're from. I thought that was a bad take on our sport, knowing that our sport's a global sport. He
he
shouldn't.
wasn't the first guy to do it,
Yes,
and
he
he
wasn't.
um Saul Canelo Alvarez didn't want to pay Demetrius Bivol after the loss because he
Hmm.
was Russian, and they try to say that they couldn't pay him because they felt that he had an opportunity to fund either the Ukraine or whatever.
Right.
So for a long time, his paycheck was on hold, and that was due in part to Saul Canelo Alvarez's camp.
That's
You
crazy,
know,
man.
and then that's Saul, and then that comes from the WBC, and them being like, you never know if they're funding terrorists. Okay, has that happened before in history? Yes, but has boxers or something, for
Yeah.
them to use it, it was so cheesy. Like in the moment, they knew what they were doing. Just trying to
Hmm.
stick them in a little bit. As far as the Demetrius Bivol fight with Arthur, I'm not sure if you were aware of what took place when Arthur was walking up this stage. And if you have a chance, go look at it. Yo, he was favoring the knee. He was walking up the
Oh.
stage and I saw it. He was going like this, like that. And I says, man, right? Then I started kind of doing the math in my head. He's 39. The prince said he doesn't want to push back on the fight. If the fight is pushed back, then the prince out of the equation. Without that
Yep.
money and that, do I feel like Arthur's kind of being, like, yo, this is this is it. Like we don't, like I kind of feel like, although he talks like I wouldn't take this fight if I wasn't 100%. Name me
Hmm.
one coach that's ever said the truth about their fighter's injury.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying, man. Like, especially his injury was a sprained knee or in meniscus. So it's like,
Well, well, wait. I don't know how many times in my gym a guy got hurt one thing and what we reported was something else.
yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
told them the minimum.
yeah.
We told them, yeah, if it's the knee, we explained the weakest knee surgery there is on the planet, and we said, yeah, he had that problem, even if it was the worstest one.
Yeah, that's what gets out to the public. But you got to report the real injury to Turkey Al Sheik because he's the money guy. Because
Yeah, yeah. Well. You do and you don't. If you can hide the injury, it's as much as you. The reporting is as much as you standing there and admitting to it.
hmm
Your arm technically can be out of place and come out of place every 5 minutes. And there's guys that go in and don't report it. Then all of a sudden you see them throw a punch and their arm pops out of socket.
yeah,
Then all of a sudden
yeah,
they're saying, hey, he's been have history of this. But when coming into the fight, they asked him, oh, it's great. It's great.
yeah.
Some of these guys need the money. Some
Now
of
that's
these guys,
happened. Yeah,
yeah,
Pacquiao and Floyd. Like Pacquiao said, I was
yeah.
injured, and he didn't report it.
Okay.
So
Lomachenko versus Tio.
yeah, same thing. Yep, yep. Even Tio and Cambosis, if you really want to go there.
No, I mean, no. I know in gyms, there, truth be told, I've never met anybody go into a fight 100% ever.
Nah, nobody does. No.
Nobody does. Come on, like we're all either battling bent fingers, or nursing a black eye, or a bloody
Hmm.
nose, or we're always nursing something.
Yeah.
And some of these, I can remember going up and having the same hand injury for like 16 months because
Hmm.
was fighting almost every 2 weeks as a kid in the boys' club. Because
Right.
back we would fight like, a
Yeah.
lot. But and then like people saying, look at Shakur Stevenson, his hand broke. I'm like, that could have been accumulation of injuries. And his hand finally gave out. And just because
Yeah.
he had his surgery on one hand, it gives you a oh
Well, it
no,
makes
now he's
sense.
pillow hand,
No,
you know?
because it makes sense because he had knockouts at them younger
Yeah.
weights. Those smaller weights are, and yeah, you're right. Probably he's getting heavier now. He's punching harder guys. His hands are gonna give out. But
Years
I wouldn't say
of
brittle
injury.
hands. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say it's brittle hands. It's just
No, it's not brittle hands.
it's just the
When you check
damage.
down brittle hands with Floyd, you can see a pattern.
Mhm.
Floyd, how many times have you broke your hand? How many fights have I had? Well, I broke my hand every fight. Shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's extensive. So you got brittle hands, my man. So
Yeah. I know
Shakur never had that.
Wilder had that problem too. Like, but I think his problem was he was too strong, like for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was strong, man.
Yeah.
Strong like an ox.
Yeah. So he's
Fucking
breaking
Wilder,
his
bro.
hands.
He had that one hitter quitter. And when you
Yeah.
got that, you can't count that man out.
Yeah.
You can't
Trust
count
me.
him out. So listen, let me ask you,
Yeah.
Demetrius Bivol and Arthur, who do you got and who do you see? Even if it'll flop, because I know my pick has been flopping day to day.
Yeah.
So respectfully, how do you see the fight playing out?
I'm still standing with Better Beef because
Okay.
I don't know, man. If what Bivol wife is saying, then the fight is really 50-50 because if Bivol has all these injuries that he hasn't been talking about, and he's just as banged up as Better Beef.
Oh yeah. And that goes to my point where I was just discussing with you that we never report our injuries in.
Mm-hmm.
We never actually tell anyone anything because boxing is still kind of like the raw wild wild west, and they kind of go with unless the other team got an insight and they go, wait a minute, we want to see you see a physician,
Right.
And
Yeah, exactly.
somebody's calling you out on, but it's typically they ask you, they go by your word. Hey, how you feel? Great. Okay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're behind the scene. They got a doctor that get naked, stay in your underwear. Let me see how you feel. Let me check everything behind your head. Bro. They don't actually do that.
No,
and
man.
I'm just sharing that, being in these situations. Look, in the last 20, 25 years, whether I boxed, was involved with boxing in a gym, or now covering boxing, I've had a direct, in boxing, so in some way or another, right? And through all, my experiences and everything in boxing, sometimes you would like to think that these things are, a lot more professional that they are sometimes, but they're not.
No, it's tough, man.
Yeah, sometimes some of these deals are done behind just with a handshake.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's a lot of these rankings, especially the rankings.
Yeah, there's no board members with like suits and ties in a circle room tallying up the numbers. Sometimes it's legitimate, just a phone call.
Yep.
That's sometimes we overthink these things a little, but that's the nature of the beast of boxing, and look, I'm pretty sure that Demetrius Bivol has his own injuries, right? But I also know for a fact, at least now, that Arthur Benavidez has his injuries, which his knee has been reported.
Yeah.
I jokingly said that Demetrius Bivol, Arthur has a physical one and Demetrius has an emotional one, with his wife. Both men are hurt here because that coming from your wife, that was your partner. That can't, there's probably no worse of betrayal than that, the way she did it, and that's gotta hurt you as a man, at one point you must have loved her. So, I don't know what kind of man Dimitri Bivol is by nature, or, how he deals with that kind of, but that can be distracting coming into one of the biggest fights of your life. You know?
Right.
So
who do you have winning?
who do I have winning? Look, I gotta tell you the truth, man. Every single day my decision flops. This is the true definition of a 50-50 fight for me. The
It
true
is.
definition. Because one day I'm saying, Bivol, you know, I'm like, look, I can see a scenario where Demetrius Bivol, if anyone could stay away from the power, circle, use the jab, and box well from mid-range, is Demetrius Bivol, man.
Yep,
He'll be able
exactly.
to box him from the right distance and keep Arthur's power and hopefully stay alert for the 36 minutes. Then, of course, I can't avoid the elephant in the room. Arthur's 100% knockout ratio. His power. It's apparent. It's there. When you got that kind of power, one punch can change the fight. So in these scenarios, the way I keep breaking it down in my head, that's why I say this is truly, truly my definition of a 50-50 fight. And today, I'm going with Demetrius Bivol. Today in my head right now, for at least as of right now, I just think that if that knee really doesn't hold up, like what I talked about was, if I was Demetrius Bivol, right, I would test his knee out in the first round, meaning I would throw a punch high, grab him, cuff his arm like this, and lower my weight onto his knee.
Yeah.
That way he can push off with his knee.
See if he can push you.
Yeah, I would make him push me with his knee. 1 or 2 rounds like that to see if the knee gives out. If the knee gives out, he can't step forward. Now pepper him, step back, but bend with your knees. Don't step back straight up. When you step back,
you'll get caught.
Right. When you step back, bend with your knees and lower your way out. Just in case he swings, he has a potential of being more on top of you, right? Like that. So I say that if all he has is that he's relying that the knee is bad, like if Demetrius Bivol thinks that knee is bad and that knee holds up, then I'm afraid we got to fight.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble, man, because you're going to be waiting on that knee. And it may not give out.
Right. So if it holds up, the knee holds up, if everything, then we got ourselves a fight. If he, and the one thing too, okay, it's one thing being a fan watching the fight at home or even in the audience, right? But the two fighters know things that happen in that ring that we don't know. Like sometimes you can hit a guy on the inside and you hear him go,
Yep. Yeah.
See, they didn't hear that at home. They didn't hear that. But you know that as the fighter. You heard him cringe. So, and then the bell goes ding, and that's on your mind. You're like, yup, next round, come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to know more things about the fight than we're going to know probably first sometimes. So, yeah.
No, that's true, man. And there's always those little gestures in there that happen in the ring that we're not going to see or hear or feel.
Right.
Or if you hit a guy hard, he grabs you.
Yeah. And Arthur goes, oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep. It's pretty much
and he hears it. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he hits him and his knee gets out at that right time and he catches him with that uppercut. And what did it give you? The impression that Bivol beat him like on an even playing field, and he was the one that, you know what I mean? Rather than, playing a factor into it. But hey, I always say, did you take the fight? Then you're responsible for the outcome.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's a tough part of the business. Definitely.
You're responsible for the outcome. Listen, when I saw Tim Tszyu lose, one of the greatest things I saw came after that. The class act that is Tim Tszyu.
Yes.
The way he took responsibility for the loss. He didn't make no excuses. He said the better man won tonight. Congratulations. Hope to see you in the future. He didn't turn into Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko,
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, all these guys that got. If you ask Loma, he still hasn't been beaten to this day.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Tio still has not lost to George Camboza in his head.
Yeah. These guys act like they never lost.
Yo, Tim Tszyu is a class act. Even to this day, the scar is healed. I just saw him in an interview not too long ago. Hey, do you think you would have won that fight had it not been for the cut? No, we can't say that. The right man won that night. Yep. You know, I had blood in my eyes, but that's the nature of the sport. That's what happens. He won. No excuses. No bullshit. Tim Tszyu says what? I'll work my way back to the top. I'll see you again. Fair play.
Yeah, and he's doing
back
that.
To
he
work.
put himself in position for a title. I hope he gets
class
it.
act, man. Yo, I love the way they should take a page out of him. If you lose, accept it. That way you don't got that in the back of your mind, so you can go forward as a fighter.
Yeah,
these guys are holding on to it every interview. No, I'm still undefeated. No. And let's just remember that after that fight with Lomachenko and Devin Haney, didn't Lomachenko said he was going to take Devin Haney to court?
Yeah, he did. You're right. He did say that. Yep.
Yes, he did. I'm going to take you to court to overturn the decision.
Yep. Yeah.
Where do you think Devin Haney got it from?
Man. Yeah, that's true, man. And like Tim Tszyu, obviously his dad's a legend, so I think he goes about boxing a whole different way because his dad's from that class of.
And then his uncle is his coach.
Right, exactly. So he's just cut from a different cloth altogether.
Yeah.
Where T.O., you know, you could tell T.O. is just out of this world. He says things that are just crazy. Devin Haney's kind of like that spoiled brat on the block, thinks everything's his.
Yeah.
And you know, Lomachenko.
He thinks he's entitled.
Yeah. Lomachenko is, Bob Arum gave him you're Jesus, you're Jesus.
He thinks he's a prince.
Yeah. So
fucking Lomachenko thinks he's a prince of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's wrong with Lomachenko. Some of and you notice the pattern that a lot of these guys got these complexes where they either feel that they're entitled or something, or they did just enough, and where they're willing to cash in and said, "I gave you, bro. You fought like 11 fights. Shut up." Like, you know what I mean? Like, stop it, right? So, but you know, it just goes to show you that there are winners in this sport, but there's sore losers as well.
Yes.
And it goes to show you that some men do not know how to lose and not accept it. But kudos to the men and women that know how to look past the loss, because they understand that that was a bad night at the office and they're better than a loss.
Yeah.
That one loss is not going to define their career.
No, and I don't understand it why these guys don't talk to like the older guys, because you know they took some losses, like Roy Jones lost, Oscar's lost, James Toney, you know, some of the best fighters we've seen, they've taken losses and they've came back. They've had good comebacks. That's what we live for. Like you said, like the Tim Tszyu, we can't wait to see what he does now. If he can go on and win this title and then maybe go get the rematch with Fundora, maybe beat him. Now he's got 3 titles. That sets him up in Terrence Crawford, hopefully. But we're just hoping that we can see that. Like, that's what we're waiting for, the comeback.
Right. Like when Miguel Cotto, right, for Marquez, right? What was
or Martinez?
No,
Marquez
with the hand wrap when Miguel Cotto fought
Margarito,
right? Right. So when he fought Margarito, there was a big speculation about the hand wraps. We all saw the picture.
Yeah,
you saw like it looked like cement coming out. There was like pieces.
Yeah,
and you know, and he was rumored to have cheating before with that coach and this, that, and everything. Cotto's didn't take it to court. He fought a couple of fights and he took it back to the ring.
Yeah,
he knew they would be under scrutiny. The lights would be underneath him. They're gonna check his wraps.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew he was going to get a fair fight. And he went in there and he settled it like men. You understand? Now, the difference between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is that in actuality, if somebody used the PE against my son, I would want justice. For him going to court and suing Ryan Garcia, I'm not against that. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, we don't always have to think thug and take it to the street. You
No,
did me a
absolutely.
foul, then go to court. Here's the problem with that scenario. I could also see if I was suing them and I was leaving the company. I don't want to
Mm.
sue my boss and come back to work and have to work with my boss and my peers.
Right.
These boxing promoters have a good hold on boxing. In order to maintain it, yeah, they might not fuck with each other, but they will keep the promoter rights and show that, oh, all that announcing, you don't need boxing promoter to the new generation. You think I'm cool with that as a boxing promoter?
Mm-hmm.
So what they'll do is, and it's apparent, Ed Hearn walked away from him. Top Rank ain't going to feed him Teofimo Lopez in the WBO title.
Yeah.
And he has the WBA. And he can't work with Oscar De La Hoya. That's 3 of the top boxing promoters. They have a huge chunk in boxing. Devin Haney can go to court and sue them. He can win. God bless him. I hope he gets paid. But when he gets back to work, who's going to give him fights? What boxing promoter is going to sign up to fight him? And how are you going to fight anybody in the top 10, top 15? How?
The only reason why I think they do this is because they have Turkey Al-Sheikh in their back pocket. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why Crawford sued Bob Arum, because he already had Turkey Al-Sheikh in his pocket. He didn't need Bob Arum at that point.
No, not yet.
No, he did. He said it in an interview. He's like, I was still signed, and Turkey Al-Sheikh was calling me. He already had him.
No.
That's why when Spence and him was fighting, he said, I got a person that could fund the fight. The first time they went around, he said, I had somebody who could do it. And Al Heyman said, hell no, I'm not getting nobody at this fight. Al Heyman said, this is my fight. But I believe that was Turkey Al-Sheikh that had the money for Crawford.
Maybe. I wasn't sure who it was because he never.
Yeah, they never said who it was yet.
Now check it out. And the last person in town is the PBC. If Devin Haney was to go to the PBC, you know what they always say? We're not going to promote a fight for you unless you're signed to us.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, PBC, yeah.
So the PBC is not going to work with Devin Haney unless he's signed to them. So if the other 3 major networks are out of you and then the PBC is not fucking with you, DHP promotion, Devin Haney promotion, where are these fights you're going to secure?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Check this out. Check this out, right? In life, say you walk upon me and you pull out a gun. You go to shoot me and your gun jams. If your gun jams, right? This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for mine, right? And I'm going to say to you, you've already proven to me you were going to take my life.
Yes, exactly.
Had your gun not jam, I would be dead. What do I do now? Let you go home and get a gun that works?
I got to take yours, yeah.
No. You can't go anywhere now.
Yeah,
and it's not personal. It's not personal. But you've already shown me you took a shot. You missed.
Yeah.
How are you going to take me into court? The worst case scenario, Devin Haney goes to court, sues Ryan Garcia, and loses.
Yeah, that is the worst case scenario, because now he's going to get laughed at from every angle.
And then he's going to come back in and then expect who? Ed Hearn invited him out to a fight and didn't even give him tickets.
Yeah. Nah, Devin's, like I said, that's his problem, because they try to act like they're with Eddie Hearn. They're not with him. They're not with them. Like, so, man, it'd be tough, man, but I don't think they could blackball him. I just don't think they can. I think he'll be able to find a fight somewhere.
Okay. He'll be able to fight against some guy we've never heard of, right? Then he'll try to move up the ladder. The problem is the number 10 guy, the number 8 guy, the number 7 guy, and the number 6 guy are all owned by these other boxing promoters that they're going to fight each other. And they're not gonna let Devin Haney play in any reindeer games.
No, that's true. They've done that before. Like they box people
They've
out.
done it a lot. Listen,
they
let
do
me ask
that.
you a question. Has Kaepernick ever threw another football in the NFL?
You know what though, bro? You know what I say all the time to people? Like the NBA showed sports world how powerful players are. It's just the
Yeah.
sports world never tried to do what the NBA players did. Those dudes said, we're not gonna play because they didn't like the deal with the lockout.
Right.
And they didn't play. And then other countries were trying to sign these guys, and the NBA said, hold on, let's go back to the table, guys, before you all leave. Bro, some of these fighters need to get in a room together and form a company and just say,
What
gonna do it our way.
Right. What
Make a
happened is
union. They need to make a
right,
union.
right. What happened is Turkey Ali is trying to give that and be that to the other players in boxing, but Devin Haney already fucking that line up with Turkey Ali too.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like the way they went about their situation. I feel like they
He
could
has
have dealt
no
with it so
friends.
much
He's
better.
surrounded.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
They
my
could.
mom always told me, Edwin, yo, stick up for yourself, but sometime pick your battles. Notice that you're surrounded. Yeah, Edwin, you could beat this guy in front of you, but as soon as I swing on him, they gonna jump me.
Yeah, yep.
Man, I'll see you another day. Yeah, call me whatever you want. Yeah, you threw something at me. I'm walking away. Right? But I will catch you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's just what I'm saying. Like, morally, yes, Devin should sue. He has all the right to sue Ryan. Yes, morally. You know what I mean?
I think we all agreed Devin Haney should have went into a big fight. Not a big fight, but he should have been fighting right now.
Right.
That really would have settled things for us.
Right. Hey, yo, Ryan, between me and you, don't tell nobody, right? Right?
Yeah.
Check it out. Don't say nothing to nobody, right? I think it's already out there. I haven't seen too many people talk about it, but I think it's already out there. What's really going on here, I don't think it's about the PEs anymore. What happened was the gross came out and the amount of money that was made in the fight, and it came back to Oscar De La Hoya and Bill Haney's ear. What happened was Bill Haney signed on it. He signed for the net. The net gross.
He didn't sign for the gross. That's crazy.
He didn't sign for the gross. So he left like $13 million on the table, and Oscar De La Hoya and them took the lion's share. They're smoking cigars, laughing, making videos about it. Devin Haney and Bill Haney feel some kind of way. Well, not only did they get cheated out of the money, he tested positive in PEs, all this stuff. They got fucked over. Bill Haney is so mad.
That's not Oscar's fault, though. That's Bill Haney's fault. Like, you need to read the contract, bro. You need lawyers.
You, Ryan. Listen, you took your son as far as he needs to go. Stop. You deal with music execs and this and that. As you can see, they're not the same as sharks as boxing.
No.
And do you know how many times Oscar De La Hoya got screwed over by Bob Arum? And then Oscar De La Hoya screwed over Ed Hearns?
Yep.
And then Ed Hearns screwed over him?
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't take it and walk away. You're so butthurt that now you want to sue to get some of that money you left on the table. That's what this is about. It's about money.
Wow. And that's ridiculous because they chased that Ryan Garcia fight for the money.
It's
and
about
they
money.
blinded by it.
Yo, they got played in every avenue. And listen, who negotiated, Devin Haney, your last fight with George Camboza? When George Camboza, not the first one, George Camboza walked away with an estimated $10 million, and you got 2.3.
Yeah, he walked away with the lion's share. Yeah.
Who worked out that contract for you? And then the next time you fought him,
it's actually like, wow.
Are you seeing it, Ryan? Are you seeing it now?
Like, Bill Haney just needs to like take a back seat, man. You need a real lawyer. Like, you need, man. That's at this point in the game. That's what gets you ahead. Lawyers, man. Not street stuff. Lawyers
right.
What gets it
wording,
done. You know?
Proper wording.
Yeah.
And wording things different is what cost you between $13 and $20 million.
That's wild, man.
And you think you're going to
hear
get in
about
these
that, but
rings.
it makes
You
perfect
think
sense.
yeah. You think you're going to get in these offices with these men? Oscar De La Hoya, he was taught, molded by Top Rank, Bob Arum, which he was his original promoter.
Yeah.
That was like the dark side raising the Siths.
Yes, because Bob was a lawyer before he got into boxing.
Yes, but he was also Oscar De La Hoya's boxing promoter. He was signed to Top Rank while he came up on his career. That was his son. He brought him up.
Yeah.
He was like, yes, young Jedi, I will teach you the dark ways. Be a boxer promoter. Zoom.
Yeah. Bob brought them all up. He brought Floyd up. Yeah.
All of them. He birthed all of them.
Man, Bob's a legend for that. But like you said, some realize and some don't, man.
Yeah.
Floyd knew how to play the game after being with Bob and Oscar. And Oscar knew how to play the game too.
Well, okay. And I tell my brothers about this, and whenever this can come up, I like to share this moment right here. When what happened with Floyd Mayweather during this time was that he was signed to Bob Arum. He told Bob Arum, you're not promoting me right, XYZ. What happened was when he broke the contract and he was deciding to move up Floyd Mayweather, the reason why he was so successful was really by accident. What Bob Arum and all these guys wanted to teach him, they thought that Mayweather was going to fall flat on his face. They saw the flamboyant lifestyle, and they said, in a typical Black American fighter, it's just a matter of time before he destroys himself.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Arum thought that was going to happen. Then Floyd Mayweather started to become somewhat really successful, right? HBO. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, HBO said, we're not doing business with you no more. Because he was still doing business with Bob Arum and all Bob Arum's fighters. Then all of a sudden, Bob Arum and all the promoters thought, wait a minute, this Mayweather thing's getting a little out of hand. Let's pull the plug on him. So they did. They pulled the plug on him, and HBO walked away from him. And here comes his fucking savior, Showtime. Comes out of nowhere and tells Floyd Mayweather.
I thought Oscar saved him, to be honest. Oscar did like his biggest fights, man. Oscar did.
Oh yeah. Destroying the fight thing. But here comes
the network. Yes, Showtime saved him. Yeah.
Right. We were past the Oscar fight at this point. Then all of a sudden, Showtime comes in and hands a fucking Floyd Mayweather the keys, and they backed his $1 billion fight in Vegas. Showtime put up all the money. By that time, Floyd Mania had taken off. And it was too late to stop him. But to tell you the truth, they wanted to see Floyd fall on his face, and that's why they opened the door. They didn't stop him. They didn't think he was going to be this successful. Now that the new Floyds are trying to come up like the Tank Davis, the Devins, now they're putting a stop to that shit because they saw how fast.
Floyd was different, though. Floyd actually put in the work. Like, he was on WWE,
I don't doubt
Dancing with the Stars. He was actually promoting. These guys don't promote. Not like Floyd does.
No. Floyd knew there was part entertainment.
Yes,
but it was all hard work that got you there.
And
he didn't play around.
He always fought on Mexican holidays. Like he always put a Mexican in there, and the Mexican fans eventually loved him, loved Floyd. Like,
let me ask you, what did you see? The guy that won had Mexican trunks on.
Exactly. They embraced him because they're like, yo, this guy's giving our
guy
started that millions like of that. Dollars.
his uncle was the Mexican assassin. Right? He came out with the black
Roger. Yeah.
Like, Floyd took it and flipped it and make it marketable. He came in, put on the Mexican gloves, the Mexican things. Yo, listen, there has been no race of boxers honored more, in my opinion, than Mexican boxers. Yes, I can name you countless of nationalities that have wore Mexican trunks, the red, white, and green, fighting against another Mexican as that Floyd, like Floyd did. Countless of men. Name me how many other people do that for Ukraine fighters, American fighters. They don't.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Yeah,
I've never seen it happen. Even Tyson Fury put on Mexican trunks.
Yep.
Bro, I know middleweights, all
Mexican
of them.
fan base is the best, probably fan base in boxing, man.
They're always, I've seen so much love for them because at the end of the fight, when they raised Floyd's hand, what shorts were you wearing?
Yep. Yeah, exactly, man. Yep. Yeah,
All
he's
right.
been even on ESPN, like Deportes, like the Spanish version. Like Floyd just
Yeah.
knew, he just knew who he needed to get on his side.
He knew, he understood business and marketing.
Yeah, he did, man.
And listen, he's a very special, unique individual. From a man that can't read or write,
To
look
make
where
that
his
much money,
genius.
man. To make that much money, you can't read him, right?
You can't even read a Cat in the Hat book, right? But I don't care because I'll pay somebody to stand there and read the whole book to me. How about
Right.
that? You know what I'm saying? Look when you say, "Oh, I'm not that intelligent to ever be successful in life," or I can't read or do that. Take motivation, be inspired by men like this.
Yeah.
Yo, my
Yeah,
man can't read or write,
Yeah. And he's here,
but
man, on top of the world.
his genius was inside of the ring. Find another way. Find
Yep.
another way. You know, just like myself, I used to box and I was in and out, but I made wrong choices in life. But I would love to cover boxing and meet these fighters and meet the guys that have paid the way. I'm gonna find another way.
Mm-hmm. No,
I'll
that's
find
true.
another way. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like, boy,
You
yeah,
just gotta reinvent yourself. Look at
yeah.
Floyd. After that, he's doing exhibitions, getting paid more money. And here goes Manny Pacquiao, still trying to get a professional fight in. He's not even
Yeah.
inducted into the Hall of Fame yet.
Oh yeah, because he hasn't retired.
He hasn't retired for 5 years.
Yeah. He's gonna go in anyways, but
Yeah, he'll go in.
yeah, I don't know why he's trying to get back in the ring against these young guys. Like, it makes no sense, man. I know money's probably an issue because they said he had a gambling problem and his wife took half his money. But still, man,
Wow.
there's got to be another way.
Brother, they were about to legitimately name you president of the Philippines, bro. All right? I know they gave you the key to the city like 10 times. That key, what does it open? Like, yo.
Trust me. Oh man, that's sad, man. You never want to see that, right? But
no,
same
just
time,
like with Demetrius Bivol.
yeah,
After the fight, win, lose, or draw. What if he loses? Do you go back to your wife?
yeah, yeah, man.
Do you fix that relationship? Did you go too far here?
Oh man, I
Could
think that's
that be
his ex-wife though. I think it's his ex-wife. But
okay?
still,
Maybe it's his ex-wife or whatever. But
but like,
I mean, I didn't know the
fact.
status because I hate digging and prying and digging into other people's.
Yeah.
I have my own, and if it wasn't boxing or in the ring, I give that man his respect at least. I know that it's our job to cover it, and we'll touch on it and shit. But if you know more about it, then you can help me because I just scratched on the surface what I couldn't avoid from seeing, from
Now, what
scrolling.
she said a lot, but I just focused on what kept it boxing, which was the injuries. Like, she said other stuff, but I'm not
Thank you
concerned about his
for
personal life, right?
knowing that, Ryan.
So
Yeah,
like
if
the
you
injuries
saw the whole
on
video, you can educate us. Yeah,
Sorry?
no,
Yeah.
no.
So like the injuries was just like, I'm like, wow, like I didn't know that, and we don't even know if it's true, right? She can just be talking, to be honest, for all we know.
Nah, a
But,
scorned woman,
yeah, that's the
tells
way
the
I looked
truth.
at it too. That's the way I looked at
She
it. I'm
tells
like,
the truth,
yep.
right?
I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's probably a lot of hate there for B-Ball, and she's really probably trying to stick it to him. So I hope that he makes him a good amount of money and he doesn't have to give it to her.
Right.
Because that's
Right.
crazy, man. You can't
The
have
same
nobody.
thing that Tio was going through. Tio should have listened to his mother.
Right.
If Tio would have listened to his mom, she said, "Don't marry her," and Tio would have. Tio, I remember in the video it was I forget what it was. It was like way back, and Tio was winning. He was with his first girl. Then all of a sudden, this chick, like same shit with Max Holloway in the UFC. All of a sudden he was winning. He came up with that one girl. Then all of a sudden she changed it to like a 19-year-old girl. I was like, whoa, money changes, huh? When your life get better, money get better, everything get better. And yo, it's not personal. You gotta go.
Oh man, that's
Man,
no
but
good, bro.
you gotta have loyalty to like I seen a lot of guys like came up with their high school sweetheart and shit like that. And I always like to see the stories that made it. You know, even though life is rocky, I respected the fact that T.I. and shit like that, relationships like that, at least,
Yeah.
I can imagine it could be that hard as a man that, as a machismo, as a man, you feel like you reach such a star status that shit, I shouldn't just one woman shouldn't enjoy me. I should be enjoyed by all of them. You know what I mean? And that'll go. Then all of a sudden you find yourself with a whole bunch of baby oil. You wake up at a P. Diddy party and shit went left. You know what I'm saying? You should have just stayed with your woman.
Yo, you're right, man.
You should have just stayed at home and stayed with your hard shoe sweetheart. But you want to go out there adventuring. Every man is to each his own. But I like to see him like pull through. But yeah, man. Demetrius Bivol got a lot that he's gonna have on his plate with Arthur. Like I said, it's just a 50-50 fight in my head. I believe both men possess and are bringing unique attributes to this fight. One, the power, and I give Arthur Benavidez ring generalship and good ring awareness too.
Yeah, better be yeah.
I mean, and Arthur Benavidez, yeah, he has a good ring generalship. He knows when to throw the punches. His power carries into the later rounds. When he knocked out Yard, you saw it.
Yeah, Vosdick too. Yeah.
Yeah. His power was out there, So, 36 minutes until the bell rings.
Yeah, it's a long time. What do you think about T.O. and Crawford, man? You think that'd be a good fight?
Well, I think T.O. needs money. Right. And, ironically, ironically, Crawford was right. He has the right to say this. First beat Israel Majumov, then I'll fight you. Show me your value at 154 because you haven't fought anybody at 154. It's a pretty big jump from where you're at 140. You're not even at 147.
My only thing to that is people are telling Crawford to do the same for 68, and he's saying no. And it's like, what?
What? Wait. You just told T.O. to do what
the same thing.
Telling you to do.
Yeah.
But it's true to tell him to do it. But how dare you challenge me?
I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand that theory. I'm like, nah, man. You have to beat a 68-pounder, beat a Mangia or Billy and be somebody at least.
I actually don't want to see that fight. I think that Saul's too big for him. He knows how to hit big guys. He's been hit by bigger guys. He's even went upwards to 175. We're talking about a guy that's naturally a 140 pounder that moved up to 147 because he can't. Crawford, right? That's 3 weight divisions, homeboy. 3 weight divisions. You really think that he's just gonna turn it like boxing works that way, like it's a street fight? Now these guys are conditioned to take punches.
Floyd beat Canelo though, and Canelo was way bigger than Floyd when they fought. And a lot of people don't even understand. Floyd put no weight clause on that fight.
You want to know the truth?
What's the truth, man?
Floyd's a way better fighter.
He is than Crawford. I'll say defensive fighter. I think Crawford's a better offensive fighter.
No, I don't even think offensive. I don't think there's nothing that Floyd did that Crawford, besides moving from lefty to righty. That's the only thing that I took away that Terrence Crawford did really well. The problem is that sometimes I'm more familiar with Crawford right now because he's been lately fighters that I've covered, watched him. I saw the arrow spins. I haven't seen Floyd in quite some time, but every now and then I do my due diligence and I'll go by and I'll put on a Floyd Mayweather highlight to remind myself of who he really was. You know, for all those lies that they said about him, he runs, he doesn't stand in front of the guys. I went back and I was watching like his last fights, and he was standing right in front of these guys.
No, he's
You
a
know,
posh fighter. He stays right there.
he was slipping punches. He was moving, and he wasn't running. Now, what he did with Manny Pacquiao, that jab, that was kind of boring. Yeah, okay, I get it. You know, but that was really at the tail end. And then miraculously, they go, "Oh, Floyd waited so long. He aged out Manny Pacquiao."
Wasn't
Hold
he
on,
older?
Floyd was older.
Yeah. Yeah,
Floyd
I never
was,
understood that theory either. Like, how did he
yeah,
age out?
Floyd was the older fighter.
Yeah,
So
and
I
he was
was
a
just
more
like,
brittle fighter too. Like, he had
the
the hand
truth
problem.
is, the truth is, Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. He's fast. He's quick. He's good. He wasn't Floyd good. He didn't have Floyd's footwork, his cat-like reflexes, his ability to understand. And one of the freaky things about the greatest fighters, I always know they got this one thing in common that nobody talks about. For some reason, they're able to hear shit that nobody else hears. You ever notice the really great elite ones? Like Floyd is fighting and the commentator's talking in a sold out crowd, and he could hear what the guy in the third row was talking about. Tank did the same shit. Tank does the same shit. Say somebody's talking, Tank was like, "Nah, not this round," and he was like, "Boom," and they were like, "You better be paying attention in the ring, Tank." I noticed that a lot of the elite top guys got that. Crawford got that shit too. Their spider senses, I feel like, are like firing on all cylinders. It's just that when I think about both their styles and their speed and their punching power, Crawford got the better hands because of course his shit's held up way better than his. But when you got a handicapped fighter that had surgery in his hand and he had to change his fighting style because he was legitimately didn't want to keep breaking his hands. Had God blessed him with two good hands, Floyd, how much better you think he would have been?
Oh, he would have been really good, man. Really good.
I think he would have fucking been cracked. Like when I saw Floyd's first 13, 17, 16 fights when he was like young Money Mayweather.
Yep.
He was vicious.
He was stopping
Yo,
people.
that beating he put on Arturo Gatti was vicious.
Yeah, that was his breakout fight, pretty much.
Yo, when how about when he beat up Diego Corrales?
Yeah, that was a great fight too.
No,
and
the
Corrales was like one of those dudes, man.
Yo, he was punching down to the body, then he adjusted up to the top and knocked him down for the first time.
Yep.
You know, that wasn't coincidence. That was real skill, ring IQ, making reads. Like, yo, he was pretty good, Floyd, man. He was pretty fucking good, man.
Nah, he was, man.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody has their era. Everybody's a different fighter. You know, and I think that Crawford's the best right now in our era for the Americans right now, and at 154. I think this is his time. It's not really good to compare the two. You can't do that until his career's over with. Like I said, as soon as you retire, you walk into the Hall of Fame, that's when you put GOAT status versus GOAT status, and we'll see when it's all said and done. Obviously, as far as accomplishment goes in belts, Terrence Crawford has Mayweather beat, but as it goes in divisions, Mayweather still has him beat because Mayweather is a five-time
5 division champ. Yeah.
Yes. He has 5.
Yeah, which was something I was also thinking, like, Crawford can be a 5 division champ. I think he can beat some guys at 60 too.
I said stop at 60 at least. Do something. Fight Lara.
Yeah.
At 60.
Sure. China Beck. I think he beat China Beck too.
Yeah, I think China Beck's a little overrated.
Yeah, he is. I think so. I just think he hasn't fought anybody who really wants to go and
now
beat
he's
him.
shining on these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
He's shining on these guys.
Yeah.
He's just he hasn't fought any of the top. I got to see that. When he's doing all this spinning roll uppercuts, looking so good against these guys, it's because they're at this level. You're not gonna do that against the top guys.
Nah. I believe that as well. I don't think he's gonna. I look the same. That's for sure. He's not gonna look the same.
I don't think he's gonna look the same. No,
but
no,
nah, man.
no.
I think
Time's gonna tell. You know who
Crawford could do that.
You know who I'm worried for?
Mm-hmm.
Xander Zion.
I'm worried for him too, man. It's like it's not his fault. It's a good division.
It's a fucking strong division, bro. Nothing but killers, man.
Yeah, but I like that he's making the steps in the right direction. He looked better than his last fight. He might be able to beat Virgil Ortiz. Like Virgil Ortiz didn't look very good in his last fight either. Like he won, but a lot of people think he lost too.
Yeah, but look, you got Tim Tszyu, Josh Kelly, you got this is a bunch of killers. You got Israel Masvidal, you got Pandora, Ramos, Conwell, yep, as well, it's just stacked for fucking Zion.
Yeah,
it is just stacked, man, and I wish my man the best, man. I'm just like, wow. So you've been rocking in here 2 hours and 30 minutes, man.
Yeah, man. I'm probably gonna sign out, man. I've been battling this cold all week.
Yeah,
I don't know. You on the East Coast, bro? I'm on the East Coast, so like now
I'm on the East Coast now.
Sun up late, sundown early. It's bugging me, bro.
Is it?
Like I work shift work, so I'm like always in the dark now. It's bad.
Yeah.
Must
be crazy, like the getting used to the time frame, different everything,
right?
And, you know, and trying to get a schedule with everything you're doing and everything too. It must be tough. Yeah, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely, look, I went on earlier. You know, I saw that you was on. You know what I'm saying? Always good to support. You know, one of my brothers in this fight, in this game that we love, boxing, you know, and anybody that looking on, I'm checking out Ryan's Boxing Talk Up North. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to give these videos a like, you know, and he'll always have like guests like me and his other friends to come on and talk boxing. So if you want to hear boxing in its right way and brought to it in its content, come here, right here, Ryan Boxing Talk Up North. My man Ryan, listen, it's always been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. You've been amazing. You can find me at Round One Sports Talk. And like we say, we love to cover boxing. Don't forget to give this video a like. Thank you, fight fans. Love each other. Love yourselves. Have a great night. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Appreciate
Ryan,
you,
my man, you've been amazing. Always.
Check out
been a
my
pleasure.
guy. Edwin, man. Appreciate you, man, for checking in with me.
Absolutely, brother. One.
Peace. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna play the promo video of my broski. You know, he's got a fight coming up October 9th.
Started boxing when I was about 2 years old. Being in the gym felt good to me. The rhythm, the sound of the bags, the bell. The sacrifice is a part of the game. My family understands what I'm doing, but I didn't even know how much I've sacrificed, bro. I haven't watched my nephews grow up, my family do their thing, but I've also been winning, and when I do win, I get to see my family celebrate together, which is a huge thing to me. I'm 3 weeks out of the fight at this point. I feel amazing. Training every day. I'm preparing for victory. Just the way that I flow, that my work flow. Just know that I'm one of a kind. I'm on my way to becoming a world champ.
Selling crack, smoking killer. Like my bank account 100 racks, smoking killer. I pull up in that black on black, smoking killer. My AC on my selling crack, smoking killer. I wake up in this state of mind, like sky's the limit. My niggas strapped you across the line, but I'm gon' kill you. I'm focused on $1 million cash. That's the vision. Speeding and I'm finna crash.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so the boys are fighting. Like I had them on earlier. So if you want to go see that interview, go back in the early part of the video. Joshua Frazer, Ricardo Brown, back in the ring, October 19th at the Woodbine Casino down in Toronto, Canada. Shout out to them for coming through, man. I really appreciate them. Those guys are definitely on their way up, doing a great job with boxing, man. They're taking the time, doing what they have to do right now, winning each fight, moving up the ranks, and hopefully we see them on the big screen soon. But shout out to everybody for tuning in, dealing with me while I got this cold, man. Thanks for y'all for tuning in, and smash the like button, share, and subscribe. Peace.